G'day, welcome to Starbase Xpanded, episode 8. And I see SpaceX released some nice images of Booster 19, which is nice. Use the dogs for a second. We've got a visitor arriving. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. Actually, they're pretty good images of Booster 19. Just give me a sec. Well, I mean, there it is before it moved. We have this bit of video here as well, released by SpaceX. Since we start at Massey's, I might as well do this quickly. The dogs will be quiet in a minute. They're talking to all your dogs over there internationally. I like it when the her dogs communicate internationally. I think it's pretty cool. So this video doesn't show the massive venting and testing of all the vents they did and the cowbells and so on. So just the normal, just showing the actual filling of the tanks. And they also released a couple of really nice images. I'll put that one as my desktop for now. On Frosty Booster. And especially this shot, this is an awesome shot, I reckon. You can see the build site in the background, but it's a really nice shot of the actual dome. Up close and personal. I'm guessing these are some of the vents for the top of the tank so they can fill it. I think we saw on X, I saw an interesting post about that. Now I might be able to find it, I'll bet. There it is. So instead of these vents in the past, we're guessing there's some kind of vent still at the top so they can fill the tank up. Thanks to SLS for that. All right, Massey's. Let's start at Massey's while we're waiting for the questions to roll in. And I'm actually still downloading port images, to be honest. I noticed through the week they added a platform. I'm not exactly sure where it was. Was it somewhere on this frame, was it, that they put it?
No, see a rusty cross member on the diagonal brace right there, and then there's one on the. They bolted it to that.
Okay, through there, yeah. Oh, cool. So that was, I'm not sure we anticipated that or not, that one, speculated that or not.
Pretty much.
So there's a question in chat. Oops, sorry.
Oh, go for it, Andy.
So All for One is wondering, B-19 chines look to have upgraded surfaces. Looks like for better aero grip. Possibly because of rearranged grid fins. I guess he's asking why.
I'm confused. Their positions or just their fit and finish?
I think both. He's asking if it's for better aero grip or if they rearranged them possibly, or changed it because they had to rearrange them.
I mean, they dropped those massive CO2 tanks that some of the other ones were hiding. But yeah, I mean, they're twofers, right? They're to help their downrange performance as well as all of the assorted COPVs and other shenanigans are hiding. Ryan might be better for because I don't follow all the build permutations that they've done over the years.
They do seem deliberately textured, don't they? Which could help with certain aerodynamics at certain, airspeeds.
I mean, not. I don't know really what that would do for your aerodynamics, to be honest.
Nothing good.
It would actually be worse because literally give you turbulent airflow over the chines, which is actually bad for wanting more lift out of it. To get more turbulent, what you really want is you want a little bit better laminar flow over the wing. Wing being the operative word on that one, as you're basically counting the booster as a wing in this kind of case, or a lifting body is kind of the better way to say it. But I think that's just the construction of the chines because they're thin corrugated steel with reinforcements on the inside, and that's really just the way they look. I really don't think there's any aerodynamic reason to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, stainless steel is notorious for rippling like this with uneven when the temperature isn't even all the way through. So a lot of times, if you look at the side of the ship during re-entry, if you watch how it wrinkles up during various stages and then will smooth out, it's kind of just the asymmetric heating of stainless. And each of those horizontals I know is sort of, there's a rib underneath it, so it's kind of
I was,
flexy.
I was sort of thinking along these lines. They put vortex generators on style vehicles, as sort of, but, sort of thinking that idea.
No,
That's-
they're at the wrong side. As most
Yeah.
of those are on the wrong side of the surface. The underside you don't care about. It's how the air flows over.
Like, technically speaking, if you were doing vortex generators for this vehicle, in order for it to actually behave like a wing, you would literally have to have the vortex generators on the engines, the leading edge of the engines and their shielding on the top side of the booster. Like, that's because yeah, that's just the booster's not designed for that. It's literally not. This basically just isn't what it is. The whole reason for the spreading out the chines like this is to give more surface area for the air to pass under. So it basically gives a wider lifting body, and that is all it really does. So they have longer chines, a little bit wider apart, and it gives you a little bit more lifting body, and that's all it does. Because this is, if I remember correctly, the wider chines are on the QD side, which means that these are the chines that are facing up. So technically, these chines are a little bit more out of the airflow than the other ones are, because these are going to be facing upwards as the booster is gliding back down, with the engines facing down, and the two longer, closer together chines are going to be the ones that are really in the airflow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody's.
Wait, no, that's actually the opposite. Scratch that. It's the opposite of that. The wider, shorter chines are on the bottom for the glide back because that's where the singular grid fin is that acts like a rudder. That's how it is. That's right. So technically, yeah. So they're a little bit wider apart. So you're gonna have a little bit more of a lifting body coming back in, and the longer, closer together chines are more or less out of the airflow up top where there's no grid fin. So yeah, that's the orientation. I got it backwards in my head for a second there. Sorry.
This is the upward side, isn't it? So the grid fin.
That faces the bottom.
That faces down on the glide back. That side, the QD side faces down on the glide back because the QDs are now facing away from the tower, not towards the tower. So
What? It lands with the QD facing the tower.
no.
With the QDs.
Or
Oh,
this would
sorry.
be
Yeah, no, sorry. It's all good.
I confused myself for a second there.
You confused me then too for a second. Dang.
Yeah, I mean they're more like fins on a dart than anything else to keep it from tumbling. It'll give it a little bit more downrange.
I
But
think it would look cool if they did the Saturn V kind of thing, you know?
true. That they
So
I
then
don't
the
think
odd grid pins on that side. Because it's not on this side.
the odd grid
Get a
spin would
wider
be
shot.
180.
So the side that side has no grid fin on, and then the other three sides have them. So they because they purposely did it this way, so your taller, longer chines that have more COPVs in them are on the top side, along with your raceway and your methane regen. So all of that is out of the airflow, all of it. Well,
Just,
out of the airflow. I mean, there's still air passing by it, but not nearly as much as say the other side is. So
Quite sick.
yeah, it's sort of a lift inducing. The grid fins are probably providing more lift than those chines really do.
oh yeah, and those grid fins are going to provide so much control with how big they are.
And
So
I mean,
there's no
we're
grid pin on the Kade side.
No, there is.
There is?
Yes, there's a grid fin on. There's a grid fin. I forget my axes off the top of this, but yeah. So you got one grid fin there, and then you've got one grid fin that is like split between the two. There's the
Oh,
There's
there it is.
the opening right there, and then one grid fin on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we cleared that confusion up. So I'm a bit distracted over here. I'll get
And then we
brain
also
back.
want to thank.
Go on, Eddie.
We also want to thank James Wilson for his $5 donation, and he wrote first, "Let's go," and then Yuzada came in with 5 and said second, and then I got another question for you guys.
Cool.
Six string is wondering, can we tell which direction the booster will flip based on the extra material on top?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
My guess is it'll flip away. So basically, and what I mean by it flipping, of course, it'll flip away. That's an obvious statement to make. So your ship is going to be sitting on your booster, and your heat shield side is going to be on the same side as your third grid fin. You're basically your rudder. My guess is they're gonna flip the booster. They could easily flip the booster towards the heat shield side, so as to not get the exhaust caught up inside the grid fin. But they could also flip it the other way, and you just toast one of the grid fins in the process. But I think they would try not to toast the grid fin, which means you're going to toast the raceway and the methane regen line. Which, I mean, what do you want to do? You got to you got to toast one of them.
Yeah, the thrust is going to linger on that where your pointer is right now, Steph.
Yeah,
They
That'll
toasted
be-
grid pins before.
yeah, they have.
It shouldn't make much difference at that altitude.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah,
So this side.
yeah. So that would be the
Push
bottom.
it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they'll probably help push it down so that it then flips and does a burn. Although
need
honestly, flipping that way means they have to flip back around though for the burn. Maybe they'll flip the grid fin side, toast the grid fin like the engines, so they don't have to do another. Because if they flip forward, they have to turn around with the booster. If they flip the other way, they can flip back towards the launch site and then light without having to turn.
Joe Coyote Man points out that the grid fins are much lower now, so there's no reason to fear a burn.
I don't think you had a fear of a burn previously.
I mean, post in quotations. We'll go with that. So let's put it that way. Using a lot of quotations today.
And yeah, they are quite a bit lower as well, yeah. So that photo from SpaceX was taken from a drone from this angle, I think.
Yeah. No, that's
one.
from the opposite 180. That's
Ah.
because that was
So that-
splitting the QD.
Oh, so there's one of them on both sides then. Hang on. Disorientated again.
Yeah, it's. Wait, go back to the SpaceX one. Does it have the daylight? Your desktop, I think, is from a different angle or a question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was confused.
Yes, so
Yeah, the grid fence side would be pushed down. This is the side that would be facing the plume. If you look at the pads up top.
yeah, I'm just saying that's the side. That's that side. Is
What's
that
that?
side?
Was FTS, so
You know, we will find out which way it flips in like 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe.
2 weeks time.
Ish.
I mean,
Okay, have we
yeah.
confused everyone in chat yet? We're doing pretty well.
I think we have. I think we've done me and Alex have done our job at confusing everyone. So
now I can put
Here's
my food
mud.
order in. Okay. Were you saying something, Andy?
No, I just said clear as mud.
Oh, okay.
I was
Apparently
curious
not
why you're
mud
not
here.
eating pizza from Webby, since Webby already ordered pizza.
Hope he's got enough for everybody.
It's a long walk to get a slice.
Probably be cold by the time you got to it.
Microwaves.
just microwaves. Yeah, microwaving pizza. I don't know. Put it in a toaster or an oven.
In the
Or
toaster.
better yet, the toaster
No.
oven.
I would.
I'd actually like to see
Welcome,
somebody put it in a
welcome,
toaster.
Welcome everyone to the great insight of Tuesday Starbase Xpanded.
Must be a new record for running off the rails today.
We don't need no stinking rails.
What's Rails?
If it's not a record, I'm sure we're heading that way.
You can keep your pizza on a warm plate, it says. You just have little candle lights underneath.
Clear as mud until it's not. That's exactly right. There. Here we go. Here we go. That's funny. It's a funny username. Okay, so where are we going?
Over here.
You're driving.
I know. Scary, scary thought. All right, it's all good.
Webby and I just have to go. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Who's the navigator? If she's driving.
You're?
Yeah.
Oh, Joy. Okay. Then I make no promises of getting where we need to go. just trust me.
I mean, that's assuming
The
we
first
ever had
time-
a destination.
Fair enough.
Give me the first time Matt mutes a host.
I'm just the
Don't give me
mechanic.
any
I
ideas,
make sure
Butter.
the car keeps running. That's all I do.
Pit crew.
You're the mechanic. Why is Butter here?
Anyways,
Redundancy,
Yeah, butter greases the bearings.
but not chopstick rails.
Those are the only rails I know of.
Okay, so I didn't really speak about this much on the show until though Zach did covered on the live stream, I guess. We didn't really see any attachment points, did we, for the rams underneath yet?
It's on the bottom. You wouldn't see them.
Let's say I think there's a plate they attach to the bottom of that simulator, and then they just attached it to that, and that's where it all got attached. That's my guess.
Would this bracing be to help that load transfer? Maybe even an attachment point under the center, even, or something? Well, there wasn't one in the center, was there?
Yeah.
Okay, it does help.
I mean, we don't know. It could have just been all 6 converged on the center, because we never saw the actual geometry of the finished actuators.
Okay, cool. And that would be pushing to test how that reacts with the dome.
Yeah. There's a set of bellows on that connect to the dome, so that can move independent a bit of the actual rest of the booster, because it's, as far as I can tell, this is only secured to the thrust plug, the actual transfer tube. So this is basically what they were doing in the Super Crusher, where they had the cap sitting on top with where the 6 or 10 actuators were connected, 11 were connected to it. This would be transferring those forces up into the dome.
They're about to do another can crush of that transfer tube.
Nice.
Because they have another article at McGregor.
I noticed they've taken some of the truss sections off the hot stage, off 18.3.
Probably do some eddy current inspections on it after crushing it, see if it had got microfractures or whatever, or some kind of NDT. That'd be my guess.
Well,
I think it's the way people thought that they were gonna put it on something else and send it back to test. So I think that's.
I mean, all they did was
test.
unbolt it. They could rebolt it on if they wanted to.
Yeah, I guess true.
yeah, and that entire upper assembly just do non-destructive, unless any of the warrants actually chopping it up and putting it under a microscope.
There's a side shot. I didn't know. Oh, look at the humans for scale. Man, this thing is so big.
Yeah, you can see at the top the bellows. Where it's
I really wonder how much that entire transfer tube weighs, because you've got the wall of you got the steel wall, you got the outer reinforcements, and then you have the inner large stringers that go all the way down, plus the inner braces that go all the way down.
a lot.
Like, that thing's probably got to weigh 50 tons all on its own.
Yeah, because until it crushed, that transfer tube wouldn't have been taking any of the vertical load when they're doing the squishy test.
Alex, you might have a point about going to the center. These ram mounts don't seem to be for a vertical.
You'd get vertical.
orientation. They seem to be for an angled orientation.
Yeah, and you could simulate quite a bit vertical and lateral. You couldn't induce any torque, I don't believe, but
Because the vertical load, they would have made them sort of straight up and down. You'd think. Well, it wouldn't make. I mean, you could. I mean, you could actually put vertical load on there, but it does seem to be set up for a angled load.
Yeah, but if they all converge to a point, right, and you extend all of them, you're inducing a vertical load. Because
yeah, you could. Yeah, it's true. Yes, but when you push up on that and push up, then it's going to push up. The resulting vector is going to be vertical. Yeah, sure. Plus, you could, like you said, push in all different angles too.
Right. The only you couldn't get any moment forces really with it, but I don't think they're testing for rotation.
True, and I quite often think that the rams are also can induce a certain amount of vibration too in the hydraulics.
I don't know if they're using any of these as a shaker table type of stuff, but just by the nature of the bellows in this, and if you look at how the tank crushed, that just shows that the transfer tube is not holding any of the vertical load.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
So
the load wasn't being transferred down through the transfer tube down to these rams. It was
it
down through the walls.
Yeah, it couldn't, because it's the bellows is basically like a spring. So until that bottomed out, it would crush all around. So that's what.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure when the buckle like that was completely expected.
But it seems like, because there wasn't any rush to try to do something else or anything like that, so they must have completely expected that thing to buckle right there.
So going back to Todd's statement, because they're taking the things off the top means they're not going to use again. Come on, since when has something SpaceX did indicate something in a particular direction or not?
Yeah, right. I know. It slips out every once in a while.
It's all good. Someone in chat said they got called a hater last week. What the heck? Yeah, look, we do a bit of that. It's a bit of banter. Don't take banter too seriously in our chats. That happens. Banter's fun. Take it in the light that it was meant, and that we're just having a bit of fun. And sure, we call each other haters. Weber gets it all the time. He's the most pessimistic, optimistic person on the chat, but he doesn't care. He takes it all in his stride. It's all good.
Yet, I'm always right.
Except when you're not.
I'm not going to be talking for a few minutes while I laugh. Sorry, guys. I'm out.
I'm still thinking Skippy, but you know,
You broke butter.
Skipper on it. Sorry.
Interesting parts. There's one of those parts there.
Yeah, they'll either be in the center or right off the sides, depending what they're configuring this to do in the future.
Well, like, they brought it over, they put those 5 on, and then they haven't touched it since.
Yes. Right. So this was the old cryo stand, right? So there's no outside mounting points like a crusher can.
Yeah, it was the Block 1/2 thrust sim. They've used it since booster 10. The only booster that didn't get cryoed they didn't get thrust simmed was 9. I mean,
so yeah, possibly. So it's likely this won't have crusher capabilities. Although once again, never say
there's
never.
Probably 20 Clovises sitting around that would question that assertment.
I mean, the thing is with how that is built, like, they could easily turn that into another, crusher thing for a booster aft or whatever if they really wanted to, and they could even probably modify it to work with ships too. If they just put it like an adapter ring on the top of that thing and modify it with ships. Because of how overbuilt that is, because the bottom of that thing is filled with concrete. So you can use that thing to put an enormous amount of force on something. So why get rid of it? Why not use it for something else?
You could also stick it in the rocket garden and hold something very solidly there.
True, but the fact that here's the thing: they put Block 3. So Block 3 version 3 clamps on it. So I don't think it's for 12.
No. And those column/struts on the ground next to it, you could weld those inside and put a ring on it and create a ship thrust puck out of it pretty easily.
But once again, wrong clamps.
Those are just fully bolted on.
Yeah, true.
You can see below them the rings that whole assembly is bolted to. Again,
So this whole ring could come off, you say?
yes, indeed.
Cool.
So
someone called you the most optimistic pessimist.
Brian or me?
Right.
Well, because I wasn't expecting to be on here, I ordered pizza. I'll be right back.
It's all good. We
Share with
appreciate
the
any time
class.
you can spend with us.
I'll try.
Another thing I've kind of guessing is that this pad was specifically made just for this test stand. So I think this is going to definitely stay here and do something specifically, and it's going to stay here to do it.
We can look at various pads that have been installed at the launch site that were never used. So
just a guess, yeah.
The thing is that most of these stands don't present a great deal of ground loading. So previously, they've just sort of sat them wherever because all the forces are contained inside the frame.
Yeah, like this didn't have any special pads underneath it.
Nope, don't need it.
So I'm wondering why this one particularly did have pads under it.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, they might be having full size, half or taller stand-in structures. Because the taller it gets, it's more. That's when your wind loading and everything else starts rearing its ugly head for as far as keeping it secure to the ground. When just dead mass.
And also with extra height, you have extra sideways load too might be something as well.
Yeah, that's the wind loading. It's more tip over.
More tip overness. Who's that? Hang on a sec. Just want to address something here. Joe Coyote Man, you saw your chickens eat a snake. Wait till you see them on mice. My goodness gracious, they're dinosaurs, I'm telling you. Okay, enough of those. I guess that pretty well covers that area of masses. So that's good. I mean, we're trying not to cover things we cover in the live streams and that. I mean, we did a few things there that we didn't really cover in the live stream, so it's awesome to be able to just sit back and have a bit more of a little chat about these things at a more sort of relaxed pace.
Yeah, going over SpaceX's little time lapse they did, just the silly that the ground vents that they had draining, and then the big pile of ice over there. Because previously, I was the impression that those vents were pretty much just used during chill down, but
oh, was that on this?
Yeah, on their time lapse. You can see it on the very bottom of the frame if you look right below your control bar. Yeah. That's the to the left of that. Yeah, you can just see those vents when they're fairly active the entire time.
Oh, and it scoots over to that area too, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's where it's all the ground frost is coming from. There's the two vent lines.
Cool. Can we see them on our? Can we? Oh, get the photo from the other side. Can we see them on our photos?
Yeah.
Just give me a sec. Which side? That's this side.
No, they're on the ground under the pipeway, so this shot wouldn't show them. This shot's too tight. You need a slightly wider one. Yeah, that one you can see them. No, they're all the way on the right. where those are venting on the ground, right? Those two.
Oh, there, gotcha.
Yeah, that's where.
And what, just the wind was driving it that way?
Yeah, yeah. If you watch, you can see it all originates in that area because that's sort of by that light stanchion.
Oh, I see now. It's coming from over there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very good. Okay, well, that explains that. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, yeah, quite a bit of frost on the ground, that's for sure. So they're
and those-
coming from the tank, from the test tank, from the test stand, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming for because the way the autonomous stuff, you have the pressure line and a vent line, and those are the vent lines.
Yep, thank you.
So you're sort of balancing the flow in by how much you're bleeding down the vents.
And
This
they'd
is-
be going into the QDs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are primarily gas, so it's cold expanding gas creates. Oh my goodness, ice.
Water, yeah. Water vapor to turn to solid. Would it go to liquid then solid? Would that'd be a pretty quick change, wouldn't it? Going onto ice.
Yeah, it's a cold gas is just hitting the water vapor. It hits its dew point and just crashes out. It's very weird considering it's a proper crash, but it is.
So that venting question in chat, the venting we see up top, are they where's the question go? Are they gas thrusters all the way at the very top we see venting? Because there's a couple of vents, isn't there, up the top?
Some might be, some are just the redundancy of venting the tank. Because you
So
have
as they're filling the tank, they've got to have a vent from the top. So we saw that a bit earlier. There's a pipe up the top to vent gases they're filling. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it has to pretty much be a direct shot down so that you don't get a vapor, basically vapor lock with a bubble in it, where if there's a low point for the gas to pool, I mean the liquid to pool.
Which could double as a thruster, couldn't it?
It's for safety. You don't if it gets under too much pressure, it's going to rupture the tank. I don't think you would double duty those two.
So there's these four, and then there's those two on the old booster. So just making it similar to just to use it as an example. Some of these would be thrusters, and some would be what you're saying, the safety.
I don't know if I've never looked at how they're doing their venting their pressure for thrusters.
All right, cool. So, sorry, we're not quite sure how to answer your question there. Sorry.
But that's okay, because we do want to thank Turtle Sanctuary for their $10 donation. And they say a little support is just sport. Thanks, Turtle Sanctuary.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's because you're clever.
Take the up out of support and you've just got sport. There's
And another
one.
10. Thank you. And they wrote, gaseous support usually needs a port. Also true.
Okay. I had to add to the script they've added a pump. These valves are still checked out to use the to use the old pumps. I mentioned that in the script too, and we're calling these spectacle something valves.
Spectacle plates. They're not valves. They're They're just you bolt them in. You unbolt the flange. You drop them in. These aren't the fancy ones that Todd found.
Okay. What did I call them? Hang on. I might have to change the spectacle plate valve. Well, it isn't like it does valving, but spectacle blind valves.
Is it really a valve when you're capping off a pipe? Because that's essentially what they're caps.
I'll change it to plates then.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
I got a question for you guys from Atomic Tom. They ask, did the insulation between tanks and COPV to keep them, is the insulation, I think that's what they're trying to say, is the insulation between tanks and COPV to keep them from bursting into under the chimes? And they wrote, love you show. Thanks, Comaton.
It's more to protect the COPVs from the cold of the tank walls.
Thanks for the positive feedback about the show. Good on you. And there's another one from Joe there, Andy.
From Joe? Oh, Joe Coyote Man. I thought you were asking for a question. Sorry. Joe Coyote Man just donated $5 and says, thank you for taking my question.
That's what we
You're
do.
welcome.
And yeah, that's what the show is sort of about. Young people ask a lot more questions, and so keep the questions reeling in. We really appreciate it.
It allows me to be a good navigator.
This is a good image to show that these are symmetrical.
Yeah. I think the outer ones stick out a little bit they're in the same plane. The horizontal is what makes it confusing.
I mean, not together, but I mean, this grey one is symmetrical to this grey one. In some of the images, it looked like one of these was pointing further in or something, but it was just an illusion.
Yeah, it's the joy of them essentially floating in 3D space and wherever the image plane is on the camera.
I still think it's to hold it in place while they're doing testing.
That plane
I
isn't
really
that
do.
apparent.
Yeah, Martin, we're not sure. I mean, we can be sure about things all you want, but until they actually put a chip here and we see what they actually do, it's still a bit up in there. Because there's also these mounting points over here to hold things. There's so much going on with this stand now, which I think's far more than just a crusher test.
I don't think it's a crush test. I think it's a
Ryan
feature to stop
Hands in
it,
Space made some good points on
going
Sunday.
to boom and taking tank palm out again.
They would also. They're probably going to be testing those 4 hard points for docking, especially given where the added attachment points they put on the bottom of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, because depending how much flex and other things, and how much the vehicle bends, for example, it's sort of like hanging a door in a door frame. It racks and it'll rub on the frame. Will you be able to open it? It's sort of the same kind of idea here. Because you're going to want to make sure that the 2 vehicles won't get stuck.
Martin, we're pretty sure it's for both. we're like 99% sure it's for a squeeze test because the squeeze test articles are here. We've said that over and over and over again. The squeeze test is going to happen because they're here. And also, though, now there's added stuff on, there may be some kind of docking testing as well now. It's definitely more than one test going on anyway. That's for
Well,
sure.
I think it'll be for anything that requires a full-size vehicle for testing, because they don't have any full-size testing fixtures, structural testing fixtures, and this is the only one that they seem to be assembling.
Actually, that's a good thought because going forward, they could take all this testing gear off this frame and come up with a whole another set of tests, couldn't they, later on?
I mean, the ship's on the hot fire stand, so it's rigidly mounted. It just makes kind of sense having it here. The frame and everything else are all sort of anchored to the same point, so you're kind of have this everything's the same. There, you won't have alignment issues for the most part. You'll have some, but you'll be able to tune those out. But
Yeah, so yeah, I think there's probably going to be more to this than we're going to see more and more of this, I think, in the future.
and I don't think the squish test is that high of a priority.
Well, I guess they're going to need it for, I mean, when they land, they do need to do orbital refueling's sort of fairly high priority, I guess, as well. I mean, to do a landing now, I'm pretty sure they're going to need to do the squeeze like they did last time with the booster.
Yeah, except I wouldn't use the booster test in the ship. They come in, the interactions with the rails of the two are a bit different.
Sure.
So
I know we noticed it in the show and tell, and that was these had RAM mounts on there. I think we did, didn't we?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, sorry, yeah. And there's a box of RAMs nearby. Just what every good test stand needs is a box or two of RAMs. Okay.
We have more questions and more donations whenever you're ready.
Sure, go for it.
I'll start with the donations. We've got a $10 donation from Turtle Sanctuary. That's $30 from Turtle Sanctuary this stream. Thank you so much. And then Ron Smith also donated $5 and said, could use the testing gear to validate a fueling system for each ship, kind of like a refueling system, wet dress rehearsal, tanking test.
Probably later. I think for this they're just merely testing the physical structure and not any of those sort of dynamic functional tests.
We'd almost have to see the second QD too, wouldn't we, to do any sort of transfer actual testing?
Yeah, but I mean, that's probably fairly easy for them to add in additional. But I would put this as more like what was happening in the Super Crusher than what's happening like on the proof stance, at least at this current moment.
How would that even work to do it, to put us, say, just hypothetically, they use both QDs, would they have to like replumb a heap of stuff back into the bunkers, or could they do some kind of temporary loop in here?
It all, I mean, it's a manifold away, however they, but yeah, how they're plumbing it into the vehicle, I don't think is clear. I mean,
True.
I'm full. There's going to be a completely different manifold. They're not going to use the main QDs for it, but that's just my opinion.
And then the question from Mock. Oh, I'm sorry. Please finish.
Oh, Yeah, it's sort of the same reason I think for the tankers they're not going to use the vehicle LOX tanks. They'll be one in the payload. At least for LOX, methane is easier for them to wrangle in the main tanks.
So Mock Diamonds is asking, do we know why they opened up a chine before cryogenic testing?
They put a bunch of valves. They added valves, I think, and they may have been inspecting those. There could have been a anomalous when they were pressurizing that they want to just do a physical inspection of. But no, nothing official, and nothing seemed to be concrete other than, yeah, they inspected those connections for some reason or other.
There's another question that's actually really good from Tim Chance. Tim's asking, considering they will have 4 hard dock points and 2 fueling attachments, how much will the shrinkage affect 2 ship connects with one being in space and the other one just leaving orbit?
When they're docking, their their skin should be about the same temperature. And that's the thing, is what they need for what I at least think of what they're testing here is more of those sorts of dynamics with the vehicle's alignment, different shrinkage, pinching, not really sticking would probably be a better, and how they can hold them together with those sorts of switching, because all 4 points are going to be moving in relation to each other, as well as the potentially 2 other QDs. So it has to, the 4 holding the vehicles together have to be able to account for that amount of flexing and movement without getting itself wedged in.
Wouldn't they have probably 2 or 3 orbits before they connect to? Which would be a lot of time.
Yeah, I think the best they would be able to probably easily do is sort of the Russian Soyuz fast up to the ISS. It's sort of the same thing. You're not going to, at least at first, you're probably not going to want to hit it at the same orbit. There's a whole sort of fine tuning with the chase vehicle. So, and just the sun heating alone is going to keep, there's not going to be that much of a temperature difference between the 2. And then, once they're connected, you have that to contend with too, because that whole section is going to sort of be in the shade, even if they're doing barbecue rolls the whole time. There's lots of opportunities for movement that you can't get rid of, that you just manage. Just like buildings.
And that wouldn't be an insignificant amount because of the size of the ship, there could be a significant, some kind of difference in their shrinkage. Would it be one has more fuel than the other because one's fueling the other with the cryogenics on one ship? Also add to that slight difference with shrinkage or whatever.
I mean, it all contributes, right? Because it depends how the internal tankage is secured. If it's using the main tanks, or if the tanker has specialty tank construction with more insulation, I should say the depots. And what side is facing the sun, in trying to keep the temperatures
We're on about a
consistent
depot, huh?
around. Yeah, there's a ton of variables that they have because I think the booster shrinks a couple centimeters from fuel to on fuel to just from thermal.
Yeah, and they got to speed up and slow down to get the move, liquid to move and things. It's quite
It's
crazy, isn't it?
fairly straightforward calc, but I'm not going to do it right now.
That's all good. All right. Just give you a warning there. Martin, can you stop jumping in over Alex, please? Okay. That'll be the test stand area. Any more questions on the area, Indy?
Not as of yet. Thank you.
Cool.
When's Webby can get back so we can ask a hard hitting? What kind of pizza did he get? From
Now you're
where?
talking.
He's probably 6 pieces deep right now.
Indeed, that's why.
And what added extras does he put on his?
Right.
I say we start throwing the bets down. I'm going to go with Hawaiian for him. He seems like a Hawaiian type of guy.
Oh no, now you're going to start the discussion. Does pineapple belong on pizzas?
American pizza? Or Italian pizza? What kind of pizza are we talking?
I think anything belongs on a pizza, to be honest. Whatever you like. Except carrots. Carrots don't work.
I mean, and what's your definition? I mean, it's a open-faced sandwich, essentially.
Calzone. Calzone's not bad. You got to be careful how you say that word because it's only one syllable away from being a very rude word. Calzone means big sock. That's why you put some of the dough over the top as well. Anyhow, I digress. Concrete work.
Now, does that...
up to there. There's not much to cover here, I don't think.
Oh, come on. Now you're keeping me from asking if that, when it turns into a burrito or taco.
Yeah.
Burrito? What?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, look who's back.
Yes. Well, because, I mean, technically a pizza is just a flat, open-faced sandwich, if you think about it.
Ryan, there's no way you're still hungry after all that pizza.
No, I'm not. No, no. I just thought that was the way I popped in. That's all. Anyways,
yeah, we're perfect timing because we're opening up the floor for bets on what style you got, and yeah.
Oh, I just went basic. I just got a nice cheese pizza. That's all.
Was pineapple? Was pineapple? You can say it. Yes.
No, basic cheese pizza. I mean, sometimes I'll add pepperoni on there or something like that, but or maybe bacon. But
4 cheese, 5. What?
Yeah, 4 cheese.
Okay.
Like a Wisconsin 4 cheese, basically.
Yeah. Oh.
Plural.
Yeah.
I need to get more nasally since we're talking Midwestern.
You and your accents. All right. Well, that's massive. Thanks for your questions and donations. Let me see. Maybe
what I missed.
No,
yeah, see, nothing much. No, yeah.
Sanchez was pretty quiet this week. We're having a bit of a talk about what were we talking about before? Oh, booster 12's pressurized or not. Just kind of a bit of a trivial conversation, but yeah, there's no pressurization on the QDs, but when we look from behind, it appears that booster 12 is still pressurized. So that stemmed from, I might just go there quickly. That stemmed from a discussion about, where is that? The build site, hang on. That's not the build site. Give me a sec. Here. That stems from this little document that came out came out only like yesterday. And it's to do with that block of land at the build site adjacent to the office building where they're clearing land at the moment. Park with an adjacent amenities building. The project is private they're funded on private land for private use. So you're not going to be able to walk up to the rockets. And so what we're imagining is Booster 12 and maybe Ship 20 is going to get put there.
I don't see what the point would be in building this with not allowing people to go up to it and see it. Honestly, I know it says for private use, but I think they'll allow people to see it. But that's just me.
I mean, Disneyland's private.
Yeah.
And it's for private use too. Their company private use to entertain the public. It's still their private land used in their own private way, isn't it? But it is open to the public.
Yeah. Well, they can set the rules because it's not like walking down the sidewalk. There's them keeping it fenced and access controlled basically lets gives them a lot more rules over what. But the nearly $14 million for a 3-acre park seems a bit rich.
That's a lot of money.
I guess all the amenities for keeping them pressurized and everything they're going to need to bring in, maybe. I mean, that still seems a lot, but it's not like a cheap part as far as what they need to have it doing there.
That was kind of the question, whether or not they would stay pressurized or they would have internal supports. And part of me is thinking that you would get internal supports plus pressurized, unless they just want to keep it pressurized. But you don't really know if they added anything to the inside of Booster 12 when they rolled it into Mega Bay a while back. So.
It's still got engines on it too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, putting a lattice frame inside of it would probably, and just keeps the skin.
I think it's going to be more than just showing off their certain rockets. I think it's going to be a rocket garden when they have one ready but nowhere to put it. I think that's going to be the new area for everything. So it's not just a demonstration only area. I really think they're going to use it for more.
Well, I figure what's going to go there is you're going to get a building with restrooms and greeting area and all that other stuff, and probably a history of the vehicles that are there. If something like that. So what's going to go there will be Booster 12 and then the first ship to be caught. And whatnot, because they're not reusing the first ship to be caught. That's not happening. I don't even think they're going to reuse the first few ships that are caught. I think it'll take a couple of catches before they end up reusing one. But my guess is you'll get a ship and a booster there, on a maybe hopper too. You might put all three there. You got enough room to put all three plus a building, and then I still want to know what kind of permanent stand they'll make for that, because I've heard that it might be enough to be able to walk under a vehicle, maybe. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of stand they make, and then with that kind of a permanent stand, you might have to roll the 11K over to put the booster or ship on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I personally think they built some sort of internal lattice frame. So, I don't think it'll be everything Rocket Garden, mainly for safety reasons. You wouldn't want to have to close Highway 4 down anytime the winds got above a certain level.
Yeah, you would want to be able to have that thing so secure that the only way you would need to close down Highway 4 is with a hurricane, basically.
So in case it falls over.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically lattice supports on the inside, bracing, plus pressurization. So basically just a foolproof, fail-proof way so that the booster stays there. I'd be curious to see what they'll come up with to do such a thing. But, we'll find out eventually.
Yeah. We shall.
And who knows, maybe at some point they'll do us a solid and do and have one like the Saturn V's on horizontal. So you could just walk under the full stack, just
a horizontal stack through here, yeah, or across the front there, yeah. So so the view to the launch site's sort of more that way, isn't it? So it won't affect the launch site view.
no. And pedantic. The factory. The office building it's a factory.
Yeah, it's basically
Oh,
it's all one at this rate, yeah.
Well, is it though?
Yes, it is. They classified it as a mezzanine of the factory, so.
It's a mezzanine, okay. Fair enough. So we've got a little Zen garden down the back there. I think we've covered that. It's probably enough for that. Down the back.
We didn't talk about the garden in the back.
Oh, no, through the shows. Oh, didn't we on the show?
No.
Okay.
Not during the live show, we didn't.
Yeah, we saved it for this show.
It's a Zen garden or one of those communal, veggie patch gardens we have in Australia. I'm sure you guys do have them over there as well in certain areas.
Transformer garden.
Sort of in the probably more wealthy areas, you have those sort of things.
They're and at least in SoCal, they're in pretty much every community.
Oh, cool. I just noticed in Australia, in certain areas, they have a bit of trouble with them getting vandalised, but in other areas they don't. But that's only probably, what do you call it? Anecdotal. Sorry, I'm probably being politically incorrect there. Anywho, I'll move on.
Man, we might have to mute Steph.
I'll just remove my
Yeah, put her on a 5-minute timeout.
My finger's on the trigger.
Good. Butters is on deck.
So this area it sees glass brackets and then no glass brackets. But then on a closer note, I saw these down here. These seem to be different than the glass brackets. I wonder if there's some kind of for the outside, something to do with the outside. This can be a bit different down the bottom as a shop front or whatever they are. I noticed them over here as well. Now, just today, I noticed them here and here. But with no glass brackets in here, this could be like balconies, we guess.
Or they're just installing them. Those look like curtain wall hangers
down here
and up top. And if you look, there's the spacing where they've cleaned up, where they're probably going to be welding attachment points on the left side is a little bit more apparent than that edge. Keep going. Now on the steel frame, there's the gray, where they've been welding brackets, which are the same spacing as the pads they have on the concrete.
Yeah, I expect glass to here. I thought maybe from here might be balconies, which means I'd have to put a wall in there, I guess.
I mean, or they haven't.
Well, they haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
So does not having so these are all cantilevered. So we're not having. I suppose that doesn't indicate glass or not, does it?
Not at all.
Cool.
It's interesting that whole area, that whole corner appears to be just an open space too.
Yeah, maybe convention sort of conference rooms.
If this part's a hotel, perhaps, or
viewing area for launches. Sort of points that way.
That'd be my guess. Like common rooms / viewing area.
I mean, if it's not a public hotel, then it seems kind of, because everything here seems to be it's a 100% company town.
Yeah, yeah. We have the some of the mining towns in Australia that are company towns, and some of our Australian singers, songwriters talk about the company towns. They're a bit different to normal towns. Okay.
Let's change the subject before I go into political rant.
Yeah, I'm going to change the subject right now.
Want to get both of us banned, Steph. I get it.
Now, Booster 20, I believe, has 3 sections now.
Yeah, it should. Should have its common dome plus the 2 lower.
Yeah, I believe it was the A34 that was rolled in last night.
That wasn't supposed to happen. A34, yeah. That's the one. I was just going to double check that, but that's correct. Thanks.
What paper size is A34?
What?
What paper size is A3? Sorry.
Normal size? What do you mean?
Twice A4 size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Build site. Yeah, that's oh, we didn't mention in our script. We just said 3 out of 7 sections for the LOX tank. Okay. So the A3 section, which is 4 ring sections tall, I think that means A34. Where are you? Oh, this one here shows it. Yeah. And its running mate is ship 40. It's also underway being stacked. Did we see another section for it go in this week? Seem to have forgotten that.
Yeah, the A3 went in. Or did you say ship?
For the ship, yeah.
Sorry,
no, haven't. Waiting on the common dome section now, and it hasn't gone in yet.
Oh, right, it hasn't. That's right. Only 2 regular sections have gone in. Right?
So it's nose cone payload section, including its PES dispenser plus its
the
forward dome plus the and now the forward dome section, then the common dome section follows.
Yeah, common dome section is next.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate your updates with all that. You're very good at keeping track of all that. Thanks. That'll be in Megabay 2. Okay. I guess not much more of the cover. Oh, we were doing Sanchez. I mean, we kind of got distracted there a little bit. Not much at Sanchez except this new part down here, which does it make? I mean, it could go with that. It's kind of like in a similar sort of style, you might say, to that. And that over there, to be honest, they're kind of similar styles wherever you are. Where are you?
It's right behind the nose. Oh, there you go.
I mean, I don't know that actually I can see anything that makes them fit together. My only guess there is that have a similar style of sort of construction, but that's nothing to go on, I guess.
Give me a TIG torch, they'll be stuck together.
And these things, I don't think they're ship clamps somehow.
The spacing, the little tab-like legs on both of them look on the outer edges, yeah. There and the top, yeah.
Seems to fit this.
It's they I mean, it's almost like that one is part of a on-built of the other one. Like that's like
those two.
Yeah. Like they're building 2 and that's not finished.
Let me do a paint thing here. So that last photo was probably the best one so far. That almost looks like that distance. Is that going to show up? So,
Stephanie Ross.
Do 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 do.
Those are more of a 9-meter spacing, like the and the other one is the yoke is a lot wider.
Doop, 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 doop. No, that's stuck in my head.
While you are measuring everything, we do want to thank All for One for their $5 donation. And they wrote All for Planet X and RGV Flyover Fueling. And then we also want to thank Turtle Sanctuary again for their $5 donation. And I actually think what they wrote was funny. They wrote, I'm going to open my lemonade stand right about there.
Very
and then
good.
when you're ready for a question, let me know.
Go for it. Anytime. It's a good time for a question on the show.
Question from Curtis. Would a monument park have a ship or a booster block? The view on the... Oh, sorry. Matt, you already answered that. My bad. They were asking if where they're putting the new rocket garden, if it would be blocking the view from the control room. And Matt was like, nope, just adjacent to it. Just out of the way.
Yeah, the control room's right up front at that front corner there, so you wouldn't really be able to block that unless you put something out in the middle of the street or across the road.
Probably if you're working in the room, you're not looking out the window very much.
Big monitors and all in your way.
Your telemetry is more important.
Where's that background music again?
So then we connect 2 sticks, and then we make a circle. Turn it into a cylinder.
What are we trying to do, by the way?
This is Stephanie Ross.
I know Bob Ross's great-great-great-great-grandniece. I got it.
Right, but not quite. We're still learning. What? I don't know.
Just trying to correlate.
Just dance in happy little skies.
Just trying to correlate these parts if they belong to each other or not, just as a bit of speculation.
I mean, the other one's wider, so the yoke is wider, as if it could hug around the outside of a vehicle or a stand. Just saying.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They just seem, like I say, a similar style, but I mean that doesn't mean anything.
So, what's your final Jeopardy answer?
That goes in there, and that goes on top of that, and it's a breakover. I don't know. I've got no idea.
It's an HLS thrust simulating breakover.
There you go. All encompassing.
Everything in one.
With a bridge crane, dance floor, and engine install stand.
Bingo!
Got it.
Don't forget the
Bingo.
Don't forget the squeeze test.
Right. Gotta remember that one too.
No, there's no love on this stand. I choose violence, remember?
Hey, what's this platform? Is that more for Massey's?
That's been there for a couple weeks, I think. Doesn't mean it's not for Massey's, it's just... And then to the upper left, there's a whole bunch of other fun stuff if we want to play the worst 3D puzzle ever.
Some triangle bits and some. I'll probably get a closer shot. Hang on, let me have a quick look. Have a quick look down here. Where's that background? I need some background music sometimes when I don't talk.
Well, by talking, we want to thank DMHMT for their $1.99 donation. And with that, we are now at 10 out of 10. We hit our goal this chat for all the donations. Thank you all so much for everybody who donated.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really good. I really didn't expect that out of the shows. Thank you so much. That's really incredible support. Thank you very much. Awesome. That's really, really awesome.
That'd be hilarious if this is for Massey's mystery structure.
That would be kind of funny.
Jeez.
I don't know what it'd be for, but it would be funny.
Chopsticks to hold up the booster in the monument garden.
Perfect.
Genius.
But they were pumps, weren't they? We worked that out. It's nothing, probably not related to this.
Blast furnace.
Oh, there's all sorts of bits and pieces. Try a different angle, see if this shot's any clearer. Oh, that makes it more clear. That makes it, now I know what's going on. They got that angle too, you know, Alex. Jeez, you know what?
Straight to Massey's.
Well, if you put those on the ground and cant them in, it looks like the center of one of the stands.
One of the test stands.
Breakover.
Okay, well,
breakover.
As I'm looking at the stand that 12's on, it sort of has the buttresses.
Maybe it's a break under.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice.
Another turning point.
That's everything.
Pointy side down?
Only if we want to ride.
But
I bet you has a question.
Go on.
Why did they wrap the transformer with metal wrap looking material?
It's going to take a second to find that.
It's up by the... If it's one, I'm thinking it's up in where they're assembling the stands. Yeah. Right across from the inventory. The one in fully wrapped for shipping?
That?
The only thing I remember that had a whole wrap going.
Is it a transformer? Looks like it's in a box.
You definitely hit the right thing because Event Dude's confirmed that is what he's talking about.
Yeah, because if you look at the white ones across the way that look on wrap, they're also sitting on a pallet.
I did not notice them in the show and tell.
They look bigger than the one that's wrapped.
It could be the angle. It could be slightly low. The whole vanishing point gets weird on overhead photos.
Could be just the packing.
There are different sized transformers after all.
No, there's just one. Fake news, Steph.
Oh, no, they look about both.
Even has the red tape still on them. Sorry, Steph.
That might be an illusion. It kind of looks like 2 hands each.
Yeah, I'd almost bet those are the ones for the new batteries that they've got right there. Yep, because you're gonna put one in front of each one of those, and then 2 more mega packs on either side.
Probably another 4. I think it's gonna be another 2, 4, 6, 8. Another 2, 4, 6, 8 in here as well.
Likely.
Maybe even they're going to use this area as well. Gee, this little area's been wired and rewired so many times. Well, a few times anyway. Okay, so I didn't even notice that. I have to look at the script and change the script a little bit for there. I didn't even notice that.
Thanks.
Oh, you haven't recorded it yet, so.
I mean.
Oh, okay, good. It's not from the other one.
Please.
Paint.
All right, here we go. Do, 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 do.
We're going to have
I love that
Matt
the
on
chat.
the voice. Oh, sorry.
I love that the chat is even razzing you. I love that.
Measure it.
Yeah, but do 3D track and throw down a ground plane so that we get the right perspective.
The gun on the hand, it's about the same size. Now let's make it exactly a hand. About there. There you go. And yeah, they're the same size. Okay, but like, yeah, so.
It's not Australian measuring, eh?
Yeah, talk about hand waving away the details.
Hand is, there is a measurement called a hand. It's 4 inches. That's what we use.
Okay, you cannot make fun of U.S. customary units ever again. You invoking horse measurement hands. It's no, sorry.
It's roughly about 7,200 millimeters.
No cheating.
What?
A hand? That would be a big hand.
That's
the big horse.
No, the.
Where are we going here?
The 7 meters, a 7 meter hand. I'm terrified.
We left the rails a long time ago.
Moving on.
Wait, maybe that's why they don't grease the chopstick rails.
Yeah.
Because hands for measuring horses, according to Joe Coyote Man.
That's correct.
So, and blue whales for Matt. Let's put all our crazy wacky.
Whales are for measuring Matt?
Godzilla!
And don't forget Olympic swimming pools are somehow also a standard of volume.
They are, exactly. Just on a sideline, our horses are around 8 hands tall, which are little, very little.
And weren't you using your SI units, huh?
Well, they are. Okay. They're like, whatever it is, 80 centimeters or something stupid.
Quit making fun of.
Yeah, it's funny. Even a highly metric country, we still use the odd measure like hands. There's a few, not many though. I mean, there's more I could go into, but I'm not going to.
How many oh God, what's that measurement for horse tracks? Begins with an F.
Furlong.
Yeah.
What are we even covering at this point?
80 centimeters. Yeah.
Kentucky Downs, apparently.
If you have to ask, dude.
How many furlongs per hour does a starship do in space?
Oh man.
We don't do long division here, dude.
Speak for yourself.
From the guy who said he wouldn't even do the simple calculation.
They would have had to look stuff up.
Furlong is 400. Oh, hang on, that's not right. A furlong is 200 meters, just so you know. Okay, should better work it out from that. That's all the info I'm giving you. I'm not doing the multiplication. Ship transport stands. Yeah, let's go back to Starbase.
We never lost
everyone in chat yet.
I mean, we might have lost Webby, which is an accomplishment. Sorry.
I know. I'm going to be entirely honest. I mean, like I'm paying attention to the thing, but I'm also been like way deep into a Hearts of Iron 4 game for like the last day. So there's also that.
Don't be Webby.
No?
Not today. Not right now.
No? Okay.
Did everyone's team win on the weekend? I'm sure some people's team lost and a lot of people's team won.
There was a game this weekend?
Thank goodness.
The one that passed.
Apparently there was
So Rex
some
Johnson-
game on last weekend.
Rex Johnson has a question. Not about the game, though.
Sure. Go
They
for it. I'll put the
asked-
Starbase question.
I believe so. Notice they have 6 generator trailers by old power plant. Did they replace power plant with them? Have they not heard them mentioned on past shows?
Yeah, they ripped all the old gen sets out, and I believe it's some kind of workshop now by the look of it. All the front doors are being shut and the exhausts are being shut. So it looks like it's some kind of workshop now. And yeah, they put some... I'm not sure of these gen sets. They'd have to be smaller capacity than the old bigger ones, wouldn't they? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't think it would be an exact duplicate of what they took out, but they did go in after everything started come down.
Event
these are
also
more
points out that
efficient.
it has restrooms and that they moved the diesel tanks too.
They did. The diesel tanks were over there. They're over here now. They have their boundaries of borders. I mean, their little dinky wall around them. But by the same token, actually, they seem to be doing something with it here. Is that actually a diesel carrier? It looks like it. Looks a lot like a diesel carrier, actually.
Generally, yes. If it didn't, Event
Because
Dude
it
said
also, these are also diesel tanks, though.
And they also still have methane tanks, so they're probably still dual fuel.
They're still okay, yeah. So do they need a vaporizer for that?
They would if they were, yeah. Or they're going to haul these out, hopefully, at some point. But
What was Event Dude saying, Indy?
just they were diesel tanks.
Gotcha.
This would probably be more for emergency power if they get a power outage than to try and run the whole place off of that.
I
For sure.
agree.
And Rex points out they are large capacity, that they're used for powering towns and outages, and that he's used them a lot.
are they piston or micro turbines?
That's a good question.
I'm assuming they're piston because they're cats, but
Do Cat make turbine ones? Those turbine power units are amazing. They're super duper reliable. They've got them out in Siberia. They run for like forever without any maintenance. They're unreal.
yeah. I mean, they're common in large data centers that sometimes you'll run your data center off your turbines and you'll just use the grid as your backup.
And yes, Dev Cat does make turbine generators.
Yeah, I just checked that back
Google.
myself. They do, yeah. There's another generator, but I don't think it's wired in permanent.
Rex
When I
had
was,
pistons on most.
Yeah. When I was running the Mount Buffalo Shallow maintenance department, or at least the electrical generation part, we were looking at doing turbines because they use similar amount of fuel, but the fuel's cheaper, like half the price, or significantly cheaper anyway.
It's cleaner combustion.
Do we know what that little small building is right next to just below your hand there with all the conduit going into it?
Some kind of distribution, yeah. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, some kind of
Yeah.
distribution, or maybe it may even be control gear for them as well.
Well, yeah, because it kind of looks like it runs over and connects to all those.
That's probably where it all gets wired into.
Yeah,
into
probably
Starbase
control center.
I'm not sure if these cat gen sets, the person who was just saying stuff in chat then about using these, when they use 2 or 3 in parallel like this, do these gen sets have the ability internally built into them to synchronize themselves, that synchronize the phases, or would that be an external control system? Because as anyone who's had anything to do with gensets would know, that the generators have to be like top dead center on piston number 1 has to be exactly the same on each one of the gensets, so the phases line up on the output, because otherwise you'll get a voltage difference across the phases. So on the gensets I used, I had an old 70s style sort of relay logic system that auto sequenced them, which was interesting to watch them do. The little governors that just sort of adjust the revs just a little bit until the 2 lights were on and 1 light was out. I think it works, and then they'd drop the contactors in, and then they'd load. Also, then load sharing. Do these generators have internal control systems to do load sharing? So so the governors adjusted so each generator set each takes equal amount of load. That was also part of that relay logic system I was maintaining.
They'll, with or without it, the phases will lock from electromagnetism violently if you don't do it properly.
No, they've got to be locked. You can't put a contactor in with that much voltage drop across. You just blow the circuit breaker up.
That's what I mean. They'll find their lock whether you sync them or not. It might be destructive, but
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I don't have an but for me that it's cat, I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't have the ability to control that and sync themselves up, because they're doing some amazing things with wiring multiple machines together, or like to work as teams, even without a person in them. So I would be shocked if they didn't have some way of doing that.
Yeah.
The ones I was worked at was automatic. They were auto start as well. They'd monitor the load, and if one generator was running only and the load increased, like when all the kitchen staff arrived and turned all the ovens and grills and everything on, they'd this generator sense the load, or the circuit board, the control board, would sense the load and decide that it needs a second generator, in which case it'd start the second generator, sequence it, put it online, then load share it, and you'd see the amp gauges, one swing from low to up to medium, and the other one swing from high back to medium. And again for the third generator, we had three GMs, 671s. Man, they are so noisy. Even with the exhaust going outside the room, they are so noisy. Anyhow, I digress.
Yeah, you don't want to have too much excess capacity because then your voltage is unstable.
Well, diesels don't like running under no load. You can glaze the bores if they run for too long without enough load.
Yeah, the electrical system also doesn't like too much capacity with.
When I first got to that site, actually, interestingly, the phases was one phase was like 10 amps on the 3-phase, on the whole building, not the whole chalet. The one phase was like 10 amps, the other phase was like 20 amps, and the third phase was like 100 amps. And that means it was running at about 20% efficient. So I balanced the loads by switching circuits around, so they were all around 30, 40 amps each. And then I did the calculations, and I think I saved them somewhere like a couple $100,000 a year in diesel because they weren't running efficiently. So that resort was run by the government for the longest time and always ran at a loss, and then private people took over the lease, and everything had to be made more efficient and profitable. Anyhow, once again, sorry, that's a digression.
That almost, I've run into that issues with Delta power. It's like we don't have enough three-phase load to justify we should have had a Y, but nope, you get high leg delta in some places, and yeah, you could just overload a single phase. Bizarre.
It's all good. All right, let's get electricity and back into Starbase.
Power talk.
Yeah, it's the Power Talk hour with Stephanie and Alex.
Indeed.
Possibly a painting tent going on here with the extraction system here, or maybe some kind of powder coat. I don't know, not powder coating anyway. Some kind of dusty work going on in here.
Perhaps bead blasting and sandblasting, since because the company that made those, that's their specialty, is all forms of surface prep.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to finally surface prep things before they spray paint them.
I mean, perhaps.
Although this is, did these have? Could they be dust extraction systems too?
Yeah, those have the cyclone extractors. The one on the left.
Oh,
yeah.
So an upgrade of these, or an addition to these. Hopefully we see these go. They're a bit messy by now.
Yeah.
They're just like workshops, I guess.
I mean, a powder coat room and an oven would be nice, but
Okay, so still no new word on those things. How's the time going?
Time's an illusion.
Nearly 2 hours already. We haven't even got to the outer sites, what we're supposed to be doing. Apparently,
time is relative.
Apparently, this show's about all the sites other than the Starbase.
Supposedly.
Yep, supposedly.
I like this form. I like the way we just ask questions and so on. So, chat, any questions about Sanchez anymore?
Nope. And Rex agreed with you guys that those things sink, and that he thought they might be using it for backup over there at Starbase.
Yeah, probably their the board cube. I mean, that's all the hallmarks of their data center.
So it appears trucks are using D4 to enter. They must have another ramp in here somewhere by now. And they are using D2 as well now, I think. There are little dump trucks leaving with material in them, and there's big dump trucks coming in, bringing material in. And some of the small dump trucks are bringing material back in as well. So I imagine next week we'll see significant more groundwork undertaken. I suppose there's plenty of room to get around in there. I thought it might have been a bit tight, but there's actually a dump truck now.
As long as it's one way, it'd be easier.
Doing it like, one way all the way around.
Yeah. And
in there, around there, out there.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of mucks are, because most of the trucks are leaving either with the drill spoils or a little bit of the berm and concrete.
So I'm just wondering about these sort of size trucks in this. Wouldn't this still be quite boggy, some of this? Well, this was probably solid day by now, yeah?
I haven't watched, but generally they normally have been, they just dump it near and then they're pushing it with the dozers.
Sure, yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to walk on a lot of that. Most of that is probably, and especially with all the vibrations and the water content.
You'd soon sink like quicksand. So even the cats would have to be, bulldozers have to be careful sort of where they run. And apparently they're D8s, I think I saw on X.
So I've seen 6s. There could, I mean, as they put more material down, they'll be able to scale which size dozers they're using, unless they bring in tons of low ground pressure. I mean, I don't have that much material to really need a huge dozer yet.
Oh, it's going to be so much dirt got to be brought into here. It's quite a lot of area to build up, and we can. I mean, I'm not sure whether this land over here is the same grade as here, or even higher. If that's sort of like a bit higher, even or about the same.
Yeah,
because there's quite my point. Because there's quite the difference between top of concrete and the bottom of the soil down here. There's quite a bit of change of grade. There's quite a lot of material. Like at least in this area here, there's quite a large cubic meterage. A cubic kilometre or 3 they're going to need.
Oh, not that much. It's God. How many was this? 20 acres. So that's it's almost the size of this factory.
8 hectares. So that gives you a hectare is 1 sec.
And while you figure that out, we want to thank Nova's Tippy for donating $20. And they wrote, by the size of the expansion, y'all are going to be busy. I enjoy your content. Thanks, Nova.
A hectare is 10,000 square meters.
This shouldn't be that big, I don't think. Is it?
So 8 hectares, so there's 80,000 square meters. If they need a meter, that's 80,000 cubic meters.
Yeah. They're probably bringing in like 2 meters.
160,000 cubic meters.
I got a question from Evan Waterman.
Go for it. I was going to convert that to cubic kilometers.
It's a fraction.
Go ahead,
Andy.
As long as we're talking about power, does anybody have any inside info on how the fuel transfer pump works?
What fuel transfer? Which direction? Ship to ship?
Yes. They just want to know how the pump works, so fuel transfer pump.
But for which context? There's...
Well, maybe we'll just wait a second and wait for them to give us some context.
Yeah. Because the vehicle is going to be...
In the meantime.
Exciting. Go on.
Ahead.
No.
In the meantime.
I can keep doing this all night.
I know you can. This I have no doubt.
I mean...
Who has the conch?
Okay. Sorry, there's I think your magnitude out up there. I think it's 0.00016 cubic kilometers for 160,000.
You're so funny.
Yeah.
Fuel transfer. I'm not sure they're talking about diesel or cryogen or balance. Yeah. So
they're talking about orbital fuel transfer.
Okay,
that's what Evan Waterman said.
Yeah, they may not even use a pump. Alex, can they just use pressure?
They could use pressure, but they're also going to have to... Easiest way is probably going to be spin the vehicles, because you're going to need to settle the propellant. Because when it's just sitting there in orbit, it's going to sort of spread like a mist everywhere in the tank in just little spheres. So you have to put it under a slight amount of acceleration so that it bottoms out. So there's if you're doing it with so you have a low point somewhere in the supply tank. You need a sump essentially. So spinning it would probably be the easiest, but which axis they'll spin it, 'tis a mystery.
Or it just causes slight acceleration, I guess. Like a lot of rockets when they interstate, what do you call it? When they Like when stage 2 fires up, they've got to give it a little bit of acceleration before they can start the engines.
Yeah, but spinning would also give you the same.
If Ventude said spin pump.
Yeah.
Spin prime.
Spin pump.
I was just wondering, Alex, how that worked with the ship's center of gravity. Would one tank be above the center of gravity and one tank be below the center of gravity? Even like I said, it depends where the tanks, what they're doing with the tanks. There's so many questions there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it's pivoting around, you'd have to be on the opposite, so you could simulate, or you could basically figure out where you want your sumps. Like they might be one tank, they might be on the opposite side of each other. So yeah.
I saw a crane fishing in here today, or yesterday, so they're probably fishing these out.
Yeah, I can confirm that they lifted that man lift out, and right now it looks like Junior, as I refer to him, is lifted out the scaff.
Junior's just, there's Junior.
Yep. The other 1220. The helper crane.
Been pretty busy, young Junior, over the last quite a while.
Yeah. I can't wait for this too.
Where's the other one now? Is it on the other? Sorry, say that again.
I said they've gotten pretty far with that boom. I think the main boom's done, and I think the jib is connected. I know the derrick's done too.
They also put on the V-frame earlier this afternoon.
So yeah, it's much farther along than in that. That all it is the frame. Pretty much the booms are nearly done. That thing should probably rise at its rate by the end of the week.
More tomorrow.
Let's say it's going to be a hell of a sight to see when that thing rises.
It's comedy where the tip is going to end up with it on the ground.
Yeah, it's literally over by the pumps.
Which is good, because now we know how much clear space they'll need to topple a tower.
Yeah.
So.
One way of looking at it.
All the way through here, all the way over to here, does it?
Yeah, it's about there with the jib and everything.
Jeez, just enough room, isn't it?
Yeah, there's barely enough room to do that.
Unless they just bend around the corner a bit here. They could just bend around the corner, couldn't they?
Exactly. Well, and then the pictures of the 13K at 37 with it on the ground are...
Dude, the 13K's final config when they go to stack that tower with the power boom.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I cannot wait for that crane to rise and they start stacking stuff.
It just looks like something I would have drawn as a little kid.
Right.
Like, this is my crane.
Yeah, definitely handing cranes around willy-nilly. I was trying to bring that photo up. Hang on. We have a recent photo, I think. Second, that's a huge crane over there. There it is. I believe we're allowed to share these here. Yeah, it's in its power boom config with a movable jib.
Bluff. And right to jib. Yeah, the little yellow crane just right by that's the same one as Junior of the 1220.
That looks tiny.
I'm not drooling, you're drooling.
It looks like a toy crane to that thing.
Yeah.
So just for scale, that means that.
Yes.
Well, it's probably its boom's probably can't see its boom, but still, even its chassis. I mean, dang. It's amazing such a little crane can build such a big crane. Imagine how big a crane this crane could build. Now, they've got I suppose that's a digression. We'll come back to that later. Okay, yeah, crane. You came to Starbase to look at rockets, but now you're interested in cranes, aren't you? Hashtag crane.
And you learn about geotechnical engineering.
Geotechnical engineering, yeah. So maybe we'll start to see some of that down like from here and spread across.
After the sand layer, yeah.
We'll start here and start working our way across, or they're going to do a lot of the area sort of all at once? Probably sections.
I mean, we're already experts on how concrete goes down.
If that was the case, we wouldn't have so many disagreements on how long it takes concrete to cure for vehicles to travel on it. Just
depends how heavy the like you can walk on concrete in a matter of hours, especially if you use like pads.
Depends what magic additives they threw into the hopper before they placed it too.
Yeah, it does. It always depends on the mix for sure. Our concrete pool mix was a very, very quick setting.
Yeah.
If you didn't get it by 20 minutes, you lost it.
Oof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope that air compressor doesn't go.
Wouldn't want to try to clean out that truck.
Yeah. Launch site launch. So I'm going to do the other. So we're going to finish with the external sites. Not a lot to go over the launch. I mean, this is really exciting to see the land expansion, obviously. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they do go about all the land, all the soil management and construction.
Sheet pile started.
Sheet pile started, yep. That was a good thing. It took them 40 minutes to get the first one in.
My first one's a hard one.
Yeah. It's like, wait, how do we do this again?
I didn't see. Did they drive in the 4 round ones yet? For their alignment?
You'd have to go back and look. I don't remember.
Oh, where'd they go? Oh, they moved, didn't they? Oh no, they're there still. Hang on. Yeah, they're there, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise this thing has a pivot, some kind of pivot point on it. Because as that was going down, I noticed on the time lapses that kind of rotated a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we can show that on X. Here's one here. Yeah, you guys shared it. We can share this stuff. It's public, isn't it? Can't we?
I mean, we're not claiming it's ours. We're living there.
Yeah. There's no reason why. You can show SBL too. I mean, it's a public stream. It's literally there.
You said so.
What?
Well,
you said so. Okay, let's do it.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's not like you're taking it and restreaming it and claiming it as your own or something like that, or
adding an AI voice to it.
I was asked not to. I was asked not to show SBL on our streams, but I think stuff on X is different, though. I think.
Oh well, I don't know who asked that, but whatever.
The boss.
I'm not in charge. It could have been DOS.
No, my boss, not your boss.
Oh.
He has his reasons. I don't know what they are. Anyhow.
Santa?
Oh, I thought that was one of the tank things. So they're all installed, the tank things, the things.
The thingamajigs? Things?
Oh, it's hilarious. I think Starship Gazer has a shot of one of the outlets on those, and I think they have like 4 different ports on the tanks converging together that they tied.
4 different ports for a single outlet, basically?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's a lot of flow.
Well, liquid methane is special.
Do they use the helium thing in here as well, Alex? Do these tanks?
Oh no. These you would you wouldn't bubble through because yeah, they'll depending if they don't have a flare stack, so they're probably doing something. Usually you'll spray in like sub-chilled product in the upper spray bars and it'll flash evaporate and condense the liquid in it, or condense the bog gas back to liquid. Some of the methane stuff you'll circulate as well with a pump and run it through a subcooler.
You know, your barbecue gas bottle, and it's like, it's a similar type gas. It's not under that much pressure. Can they do the same thing with these tanks rather than using coldness?
They have to use coldness. This is nowhere. The pressure it takes to keep propane liquid at room temperature, I don't think methane you can. It won't be. It would be a super. I think you'd have to take it super critical to get it at room temperature to be liquid like.
Sorry. So I did some research. So I'm spoken correctly then. Sorry. Yeah, bottled barbecue gas. Yeah, it's a different. It's a totally different thing to. It's a natural gas, isn't it? To methane.
It's a hydrocarbon, but it's a couple different carbon long chain versus a single carbon. A methyl.
Yeah, it has more. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it's kind of funny how they're. So yeah, they're plumbing these up a lot different than as well as the previous ones.
It's different because of this, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the longer the chain, generally the lower the higher the melting and boiling points are.
Yeah. And this has more energy because it's got more bonds to break, as I think I read too.
Depends what you're using it for, but yeah, it has different much different properties. And but what is there? Is it are they talking gas? Are they talking liquid? Is it molar?
And butane's slightly different again. I didn't even realize ethane was a thing like that, but yeah, there's ethane as well.
And then butane, that's and butane, you can also branch it. You could have it basically having where you could have a carbon hanging not in a straight chain. You could have it basically be a Y. So you'd have 3 carbons. So yeah, there's different conformations as far as.
I got another visitor. Cool. All right. So, okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks. So that was a silly question I asked. So now I remembered what I had. I did some research, thinking I'd be clever and do some research, and I just totally balls it up.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the main reasons methane is better is the added carbon is, as far as accelerating the flow of your exhaust, you want to keep your molecular weight lower, so less carbon to eject out the back, the better.
Well, they're going for me. So was that more of a reason for the choice for methane, or was it the fact that you can make methane on Mars? Was that more of a add more weight to the direction?
ISP is higher because it's your exhaust gas. your ISP has pretty much derived how fast you can accelerate out what your two equal mass flows. One at twice the velocity is going to have a substantially higher ISP. That's why hydrogen is so good. All you're spitting out is water, essentially.
Yeah, your molecule mass is lower with hydrogen, so your ISP is higher because you can shoot out your molecules faster than, say, RP1 or methane. The other pluses with methane are the fact that it's got, you can, the tankage you can build is a lot easier than, say, a hydrogen. Even though hydrogen has a much better ISP, because you don't have to do like a 6-to-1. Because anyone who's looked at the SLS core stage, like 75% of the core stage is hydrogen. The rest is an intertank plus then your oxygen. And then, as Alex is talking about, you still have a decent ISP. You have a better ISP than RP1, and you have it's a lower ISP than hydrogen, but you can get more thrust out of it because you can build a better engine. And then on top of that, building a better engine, you can build a full flow stage combustion cycle engine with it because it won't coke up like RP1 will. And the seals aren't a gigantic nightmare like hydrogen. Like, just look at the RS-25. The seal setup on its turbo pumps are a nightmare and a half. So you don't have to deal with that. And you can get more thrust, and you have a decent ISP. Oh, and yeah, with CO2 and water, Sabatier process, you should be able to make methane. So it's kind of like best of all worlds, really, for chemical rocket fuels.
Yeah, the only downside is that CO2 molecule is strips a lot of your potential ISP, but
it's worth the trade-off for all the other advantages.
Right, because like it's almost 20% of the mass is methane, and the rest is LOX, and it's so much more inverted on SLS as far as how much space is taken up. Yeah, it's hydrogen is evil.
Chatter enjoying the chemical lesson here.
Like the other stages is just go look at Centaur or the ICPS, the shuttle external tank, the massive hydrogen tank versus the tiny LOX tank, because your mixture ratio is like 6-to-1. For methane, it's like 3 point. I don't remember. It's a 3 or 3-to-1, give or take. And RP1 is like a 1.5-to-1 or 1.75-to-1. RP1 is pretty relatively equal. The problem with RP1 is the coking issue.
Too much carbon.
Literally, the Falcon 9, that's not re-entry. The coking, or the why they get so dirty. It's them doing the re-entry burn, and the it's ascent, re-entry burn, and landing burn, because especially during the re-entry burn, when they fire those engines, all of that soot, especially from the gas generators, is just sticking to the side of the booster and whatnot. It just coats it.
Yeah, it's funny that you can look at the test stands at McGregor. You can tell which ones are the Merlin engines and the versus the Raptors.
And like a perfect example of what methane compared to RP1 does is all the super heavies that have come back, and then the new Glenn. Then that new Glenn was like pristine. Like you wouldn't even think that thing had flown to space. That's how clean it looked. Like up close. As I saw that thing in person, that thing was clean. It's like, wait, did that fly? Yeah, it did.
Very good. What sort of rabbit hole did I just open up? Thanks for those answers. That was awesome. Thank you. I rather like the I find it quite appealing. I rather like the look of the Falcon 9 boosters post-flight. I think that that bit of soot, I think it looks really good on them. It kind of reminds me of like, a workhorse, like a tractor or something. Something that's actually doing work and getting down and dirty, basically, in a good way.
I mean, the top of the booster for Super Heavy is gonna look the integrated hot stage and flying a couple of times. It's gonna look really interesting. At the end of it all, how much discoloration there is on the dome, the truss, and just like the top of the booster. We've already seen bits and pieces of that, but I'm curious to see how it's going to look now, because they have far more vent area on this booster than they did the past one. So I'm curious how that'll work. I know it's in rarefied air, but it is more vent area.
It's a heating and the passivization layer getting attacked is where the discoloration's coming from. So rarefied or not, it's going to have the same net effect.
And then, of course, the biggest question mark, which we don't know yet, is with a fully good heat shield and everything, what does a ship look like after coming back? Because booster coming back is nothing. Ship is re-entering from orbital velocity. Not to mention if it was coming back, say, from the moon or Mars. Like, you're talking, 25,000 miles an hour if you're coming back from, like, the moon or Mars? Something like that along those lines? I mean, depending on if you've sped up a little bit to try to get back quicker, it's going to be kind of nuts to see what that thing looks like at the end of it all.
Well, how much the carbon ablates and how it sticks will be kind of interesting, because I don't know if they've said what percentage of pile loss they're expecting per reentry. I think the shuttle was
25,000's correct. Not quite as fast for. It depends which way you go, I guess. The return trips. It's similar for Martian missions too, about 11 k's per second.
Yeah, the moon and the Mars shouldn't be too different as far as direct. I mean, you could play games and do aero capture instead of going directly.
I guess that's a reflection on the translunar injection burn. It should be similar. You're leaving the Earth's speed should be similar to the speed you return to Earth, because it's basically an elliptical orbit. All right. So, yeah, here we learn about chemistry, cranes, rockets, and a little bit of orbital mechanics.
Some thermodynamics. Don't forget that.
Oh, thermodynamics. Yeah, where there's no such thing as cold, just a lack of heat.
And lots of simple engine
movement, vibrations. And then wacky stuff like even at absolute zero, depending on your pressure, helium will stay a liquid.
And if anyone wanted to learn more about specifically how rockets work or anything, I recommend going and watch Tim's videos on the stuff. He does a pretty good job of explaining the basics.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've learned a lot from Tim Dodd and his little presentations. It's especially his engines and that. When I had a fair understanding, but seeing the difference in the engines, and it's interesting the Falcon 9 uses such a simple engine, but again, if you're after, I think it was a good choice at the time.
Was the long carbon chains here? It kind of limits some of your cycles. Just coking is a huge issue.
So even in the combustion chamber, would they have that trouble in the combustion chamber at the at the plate, what we call it, the injection plate, and that would they have to replace that again?
Yeah, that's.
Go ahead. I was saying you would basically coke up the entire injector plate. You would coke up all the injectors, all the igniters, the turbine blades. You'd coke just about everything up. with that. Anything that was near where you're burning your RP1, basically. So, yeah, the pre-burner, especially if you didn't have an open cycle on that and you tried to close cycle that thing, it's not going to last long. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and stoichiometric or non-stoch and pressure. Oh my.
Yeah.
You're essentially making graphite.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you could catch that on fire. So
I remember when I was working on a farm and we were cutting lucerne, and then there was a chaff cutter on the farm. So we had to use steam, and using a diesel-fired steam boiler. Yeah, we cut the days. You had to open up the firebox and pull out a big chunk of coal, a big chunk of carbon. So
yeah, and also it's because they have to use they inject more fuel around the outside for cooling of the throat. So so that's just that cokes up. Yeah, it's a long chain hydrocarbons are a bit messy.
And actually, that is also one of the pluses of full flow stage combustion alongside methane, and how Blue Origin uses closed cycle is you're able to burn the methane a little bit better, and you're able to burn it more purely, more or less. So most of the methane gets burned off and actually used, rather than you get leftover junk and stuff like that. So having that cycle actually helps as well. So it's a lot of chemical and whatnot physics, and then you get into stuff that I don't know. I'm bad with chemistry.
Well, thank goodness you're here. You'll learn a lot.
Or not.
Or not.
Or run away screaming.
Either way, we had an impact.
how's questions going in chat?
Questions are good. There was a question from All for One. They were asking about Rio West. They're asking, do we no longer show Rio West because of privacy issues, which they totally understand now that it's being occupied.
Is it? I don't think it's fully occupied yet, and we haven't got there yet.
Does that mean we won't be able to show pictures of Mars when they occupy Mars?
I don't know if I don't know if Mauricio will be able to take a 150 for flyover.
He's got his oxygen bottle.
That's true.
Ultralight?
Yes.
That or an awfully big lens.
You basically need an ultralight with like the wing ratio would need to be like 10 times what it is. Like it'd be a massively big fat wing with a ton of area to get enough lift in 1% the atmosphere.
We'll put them on Phobos or Deimos with like Keck 1 and 2.
a Ka-17.
No, that's not large enough.
No?
How about Voyager from the 80s? The Dick Rotan.
I'm in.
Aircraft.
Let's bring back Rotan. How about that? You know what Rotan is? If people don't know what Rotan is, look up Rotan. I'm not kidding. Yeah.
People need to
look it up. I can't describe it to you. You just have to look it up. It should be the Rotan rocket. Yeah, Rotan rocket design. Yeah. It's amazing. Let's just go with that.
Which was the one that would launch from water that was on the board? Something Dragon?
Sea Dragon?
Yes.
One massive engine bell could do 400 tons to low Earth orbit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Since we're on the Rio West picture, Chompies has been making some huge progress lately.
Chomp.
Yeah, they basically finished. They finished the roof. They finished the covered area and all of the outdoor area too.
Like,
is the roof on fire?
So what is it? How many pounds of thrust is super heavy right now? If we're taking it, it's what, like 1920?
I think so.
Or whatever it is. Even if they're able to get like 300 tons out of each R3, the first stage thrust on Sea Dragon was theorized and supposed to be 80 million.
I just want to know how you could keep stability and how big that bell would be.
Combustion stability. The bell was wider than the rocket itself. The rocket was what? The rocket was 23 meters in diameter, and the bell was larger than that.
So cool.
I want it. If only it was. I don't know if it's engineeringly possible. I don't know. I want to find out.
Almost looks like they're kind of putting in a little park over there next to it.
Yeah. If I become a billionaire, there'll be signs.
There would be. If I ever to run into Elon, I'd be like, build Sea Dragon. Starship's cool, but build Sea Dragon. Make it a reusable Sea Dragon. I don't know how you do it, but do it.
And fly to Titan to fuel up.
Yeah. And just put a cup in one of those, put a pump, hook it into one of those methane lakes, right? And just pump it right into the rocket. That'll work, right?
I see no downside.
I see no problems.
Back to Starbase. Thanks, guys.
This is what happens when you get me and Alex in a VC.
I understand.
These rail jumpers over here.
And I'll let you have a good run too. And I do appreciate that you do that. Thank you. It's good fun. Agreed. Thank you. See, they put a little, maybe even a dock down here to get to a watercraft here.
Notice the alligators in the water waiting for the people.
Are they really alligators?
Along with all the junk.
There might be some in there. Just waiting.
I've seen them at Massey's.
Wouldn't surprise me, even if it was a jack. Wouldn't surprise me that there were some in there. I see. See, they've got stairs down here in the center, and they've still got some wheelchair access rampage around the outside. It's very nice of them. Thanks, Matt. It looks actually pretty well. The building side, anyway, looks pretty well complete. I guess it's
close. It looks like that little side area still has to get some of that cool little covering. It looks like they've got a couple pieces on there, but haven't finished it.
Well, there's still some services to install on the roof as well. Oh, this stuff you mean?
Yeah, you can see on the side there's just two little pieces, so it looks like they might be filling that in.
No, that's finished product, or it's one of those powered things they can turn the shade on and off. Turn the shade on and off. Yeah, that's what they do.
Looks just like wood louvers. A lattice.
There's still no water in the pool yet. Still looking a bit unfinished, actually. They haven't fitted the pool up yet. I don't think that's the final coating. I don't know what they've done on the floor. It looked like they had lanes. It made me think they'd finished this, the lining, whether it be a render or they can even put liners in. They quite often put actual vinyl liners in concrete pools too these days. I never built anything like that. I built something more like this, but being smooth, it's usually can be tiled. If they're going to use like a pebblecrete, it's usually left rough. but they haven't like sealed the pipes here. You can see here they've dug a bit of concrete out around this pipe, and they'll backfill it with some what do we call it? There's a product we used to use a product. It's just the name's eluding me. It's been a minute.
If it's going to be plaster finish, they'll just usually jam it with. But if they're using the resin stuff, yeah, they use something different, and I can't think of it.
We used to do it anyway. That was part of the shell before tiling, especially. But even to finish the shell off before any kind of covering went on, before any kind of render or anything went on, we would still do this anyway. And around the skimmer box too, we'd cut with a grinder or we'd cut it with a trowel before it finished. We'd leave an edge around that. Well, that's not a skimmer box, but just as an example, we'd do around the edge of the skimmer box too. So we had a skimmer box leak once. A little bit of water, a little bit of concrete didn't quite meet the plastic on the skimmer box, and it leaked water from there, but it didn't come out till over here somewhere. It like followed a pipe through the outside of a pipe through the concrete somehow, and the leak showed up on the outside of the pool on this side. It was fortunate because it was a pool that was underneath the building, so it was like as if you put a pool on top of this wall here, concrete pool on top. That was an interesting pool to build, actually. Anywho, I digress again. Sorry. Okay, the site, yeah, it's otherwise other buildings. We don't go here much on the since we've started doing Expanded. We've sort of decided to look at these sites on the Expanded show. That's why we don't really show them in the live streams anymore, or even on the. We don't do it on the weekly update either anymore so much. When there's major upgrades to the sites, about once a month or every couple of months, we'll put this in the weekly video as well. And the Expanded show was sort of based around not only going on rabbit holes, but to sort of more highlight the sites around Starbase. So that's Rio West. Here's the storage lot.
One of many.
I think Zach might have touched on this on the weekly live stream.
Yeah,
those are new. Oh, sorry, was that you talking, Alex?
No, that was Darth. Darth.
Yeah, I was just saying, confirming what she was about to say, that yes, those are the new trailers.
Yeah, and they this is that right? This is a truck that doesn't have a fifth wheel, doesn't have a turntable. It's just got the carrier for a weight. So, and the drawbars are even still on these to tow them here.
Correct.
Some crane parts for Marvin or Crane X, depends on which camp you come from.
Lazy.
Lazy.
Yeah, it is the laziest crane of all usually, or even still, I guess. Does a few big lifts and then goes to sleep for a while. Oh, that almost made it look like it's hovercraft in there. All right.
Yeah, we did. It's a big tour yet, because this week we got a lot of good wide shots.
It's another lot they're using somewhere.
I think this is one of their quarries they're using, because it's the new Massey's where they're dumping stuff is closer to the top by the cement plant, just to the left of it. There is where the new Massey's is. This is where they've been dropping a lot of this spoils.
Is it that area that you were just looking at the bottom of the picture, where the bust of Elon is? On the road.
Probably. I think I saw it flagged on Google. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a private developer owns that piece of ground.
This piece?
Yes, I
It
believe
looks
it's private. Because he's advertising for homes there.
You're kidding, because right now it looks like they're using it as sort of a quarry and just digging up and grading fill. Not saying he couldn't do
Well, he
both.
probably found out it was easier to lease it to SpaceX than to build homes.
True.
If you see the bust up on the road, that's the key. It's about 10 foot, 12 foot tall.
I think it is, because looking on Google Maps, they have the Google or Elon bust.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, where's my internet? All right, that's going to be tricky to find. Let me see. It was in here somewhere. Let me see.
Up to the right. Up to the right. It's the port road.
The open street has it labeled.
It's here, I think.
I believe it is.
The bust is right out by the highway.
Oh, there's a few in here. That's not that one. There's a few owners in here. Looks like this bigger one here, doesn't it? Not sure who that is. So it's just back a bit up and it's a larger site. I can sort of see a smaller site beside.
Yep, and up by the Port Connector Road, one of the shots, two of the trucks are coming from it, because I know they're dumping a lot of the stuff over here.
So from the launch site now, for instance.
Yeah, there's another shot where you can see two of the trucks leaving. Yeah, right here.
Gotcha, yeah. Well, that answers a few questions. We're always asking, where is all that dirt going on? So maybe they would process the soil over here as... Where were we? Over there, sorry. Process the soil as well to bring it back after processing it? Or are they actually mining soil from here, or are they just bringing it in and using this as a temporary storage lot?
We would need this. They might be. I don't see any of the conveyors and shaker tables and stuff they normally use when they're grading.
Yeah.
Fill and... I mean, since this is a delta, there's probably, depending where you are, there's lots of... But I think they're supposed to be using like limestone, which I don't think you'd get from here.
Well, if that's the shooting range too, he's always interested in more berms up there to block them. Yeah. So dumping dirt in there's a good thing.
Which is the range? Is this the range here, is it?
Like up by the white roof. I think it's more in here.
Up in there.
Or the further up, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was here, but Not, don't quote me on it.
We need a different tool for that. Stuck away from that till I get a zoom out.
Mm-hmm.
We all know I'm from Australia. Zoom, zoom. Let me see if I know my American geography here. So, sorry, this is probably nothing important anyway. Once again, yeah, it was over there, okay. So, yeah, you're right, that back one. So this is the actual, what they're using right now, and they're coming in around here to get into this site. And yeah, the gun range is over here. So yeah, you're right, Alex. Thanks for reminding me of these photos. It's a good opportunity to see how things all line up with each other in the real world. So if they're doing their batching at the site, it's going to be a while till they need concrete, isn't it? So the next big lot of concrete.
They're not batching at the site. They're mixing their grout.
Yeah,
which is essentially just concrete and water is what they're more or less injecting for the mixing.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. But so would they not be able to use this site? Would they be able to use this site for that sort of grout? I know they're not going to, but could they use this site for that?
I don't think you would want to ship it. It's like when you're making a bentonite slurry. It's the same sort. I mean, you could, but it's not. Would it be very efficient?
Didn't somebody say this company was in bankruptcy right now?
Yeah. So many companies though go in bankruptcy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I've seen a lot of Kappa trucks which don't use that at all, and at the site lately I haven't seen any 57 trucks going in and out of it.
Yeah, the 57 has primarily been for like the ASU and Gigabay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Any of the more specialty mixes seems to be Kappa. Except for Giggity Bay.
I think it just happens to be which contractor is running it. The 57 was contracted for the Gigabay. They picked up the ASU contract. Everything else has been Kappa.
Yeah, because I think 57, at least from what I read with their bankruptcy stuff, they're primarily a residential construction provider. So I think them branching out and putting their temporary batch plant here is them trying to capture more of the commercial market.
Yeah, their main headquarters, I looked it up a long time ago. It's about 100 miles north of here. They don't work normally around in this area.
Yeah. But yeah, at 37, they have a grout and a batch plant for concrete.
Okay, cool. I just thought they might see a bit of activity with what's going on at launch site already, but they won't be needing like solid concrete for some time still at the launch site. And the first lot's likely to be to do with maybe the sheet piles under the trench. Just trying to remember pad 2.
Yeah, that's the first area they're going to be jet grouting is between the sheet piles.
I mean concrete, sorry.
I don't think they're using until they start excavating. They weren't using.
So yeah, I mean the first time they'll be needing concrete won't be till they've actually dug the trench and start doing the pile caps down at the bottom of the trench, perhaps.
Yeah, but there's probably going to be a lot of solid surfaces they're going to pour, even if they dig it out, because any of those, depending how bad the soft the ground is, where they're reclaiming and where they're hauling.
Yeah, cool. So that plant's not supplying concrete. There's another plant. They're using one out of Brownsville here somewhere. They must be.
The Kappa plant is on the other side of the port. They come up Highway 48, come across, and then down 4. It's the other side to the right, way off the screen.
Yeah. Can I use the connector road?
No, they have to go up and around. They have to go up, around, and back down again.
Cool. We might have a shot of it. I mean, it's only trivial. There might be a shot of it, but it doesn't matter. I thought one of these shots might show it. Might be up over in here somewhere. Is that it?
It's further to the right.
Even further to the right.
That looked like concrete, though.
Yeah, that's a concrete plant. But I'm sure there's more than 2 concrete plants in all of Brownsville, that's for sure. Let's say it serves as quite a big area. Okay, it's concrete. And thanks, I didn't actually realize that photo existed. Alex, thank you very much. I haven't looked through these images. As far as where the soil's coming from and going to, what have you. Where did that conversation start? Over in this photo? No. This photo. No.
Yeah, that one you were just at also looks, at least on Google, I think it's around the dump, but it looks like it's a quarry of sorts. Yeah, this one. Yeah, bottom of the frame, it looks like they've been digging a lot up.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's sort of more the soil they need, isn't it?
I mean, if it's been graded, because I mean, all the soil they're bringing in for fill is graded fill, or engineered fill. It's just not random dirt that they're putting down.
Cool. But once again, it's probably not the only dirt quarry around either.
No.
So where's this shot with the water tower? Where's this shot that's like that? Where are we? Oh, that's those. I see, yep. So brown lot should be in this photo, Nelly, shouldn't it?
It's in it. Over to the right a little bit. A little more. Isn't it right there? Right there?
Oh, I mean the one with the steel's at, sorry.
Oh, that's in the center. A little bit further. Right there. Center frame.
Oh, there it is, yeah. I remember it being brown. It must be just the browner, more browner.
It's on Brown Road, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I called that brown lot. Sorry, this is the brown lot.
Yeah. Looks like they're actually starting to put in some extensions for lights and stuff in that back area. It's hard to see, but you can see a couple little things sticking out here and there. Well, no, more in like inside. There is a better picture that we have somewhere, but yeah. Kind of adds credence to the fact that we figured it was just a extension of the parking lot.
We've got actually some of the steel in some of the photos. What was interesting here, Mauricio?
Stairs. Railing.
What's the stairs? Oh, and staircase railing, yeah. Rare storage lot. I'm just going to run quickly through these. We might come back to that brown lot in a second. Just so I'm not going backwards and forwards so much.
Wait, is that a ship?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? But whenever there's a closer picture with the site turned around, and that's actually like a netting area in that little back area. They're starting to build the playground, is what that whole little like triangle-ish area is right there. No, down where that piece of concrete is, that long, yep, all of that, it's a playground. So that's like a netting thing that you can climb up, and then there is some things for swings just above it, and off to the right of it there's like a something that you can like climb up on and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the picture.
So it's 10. It's 10 concrete. So it's, if anything, for a booster.
Right. It's a booster net.
Booster net. Yeah. It is funny though. They should use 10 as a number. I don't know whether that's just coincidence or whether it's by design. Okay, we'll do it in order then, Matt. Then okay. That's the Highway 4 steel storage lot.
If you tried to do that in any other school in the country, you'd get shot. This looks dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a big thing, isn't there? It's here in Australia too about playground equipment being dangerous, yeah.
What surprises me about it is all the pieces that you're using for like the swing set and stuff, they're like natural wood and like very curvy and stuff.
It's all timber, yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought they were building like trellises and stuff for for plants, but yeah, no.
Isn't that kind of Texas style, that crossing of timbers like this with a timber like that over the, you know, the entrance to a ranch? Is it sort of is that sort of Texas style in timber? No?
I don't live there.
I think that would just be
I know a lot of ranches have that, you know, overhead on their front gates, and the entrance to property seems to be a fairly common thing to have in American ranches.
Yeah, it's in that part of Mexico, like for rancheros and stuff. Yeah.
So that's more of that. That's the that site. So it's where they're sort of in between changing the power lines. Still haven't changed that yet. I've actually got some vehicles here. So that's the is that the right markings for the Border Patrol, is it?
Yeah.
Look at the sign on the building.
Oh, look at the sign on the building. Geez, my eyeballs sometimes, they just don't work.
Yeah, but no, the white and green is Border Patrol.
Yeah, they just put that signage up too.
Let me grow.
Yeah, I'll just stop being embarrassed for a second. I'll move on. Okay, that's that site. So, parking for SpaceX employees. We quite often see these buses over there at Starbase nationwide. Just give me a sec.
Andy, any question? No, I'm kidding.
When things go quiet here, I'll worry because Kelly's got oxygen equipment. But it's all good.
There is a question.
Sure.
But it's not about this. Joe Coyote Man's asking, will they install the wicks in the new expansion area for groundwater?
Very unlikely.
So that's an interesting question because I remember at Rio West and also, where is it? Where is that area now? This little triangle area in here where the old car park was, somewhere in here somewhere. they did use it. But when they did this site here, they didn't use it, did they, Alex?
No, they didn't. I'm not. I'd have to dig in on what they're, if we can find anything on what limits other than the generic top-down construction.
They did extra compaction and water extraction on pad 1 a couple of years ago when they did FTS 1.
But subsequently, they haven't done. I mean, they've been using more and more of the whole top-down technique where you're not digging it up and compacting it beforehand.
What was the type of water removal that they had used whenever they were doing pad 2?
They were just using the normal dual. They put in and never really utilized the wick drains.
Okay, because I remember them running like 2 pipes down each, or like a pipe down each side and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's your fairly standard dewatering. Except those were the deep well. Since
that's what it was, deep well. Yeah.
With the and those were using basically Venturi pumps.
We see that at Kennedy here too. They're using that dewatering system next to the trench still. But that's a different thing. That's not about soil prep. That's just about keeping water out of the construction site, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Massey's was the best instance where they did the diaphragm walls and also engineered those to be the structural walls and then dug everything up after the fact. Like even the bridge portion that covers part of the trench, they poured that before they dug out the rest of the trench. And then same was here with the sheep piles they're using for their forming. So they're not digging up the whole site and having the slope walls. And yeah, it's all to minimize their footprint of what they're directly impacting, even though it's all going to be more or less over concrete.
And they're not after, I mean, even like the major structure here doesn't rely on any of that soil compaction anyway. It relies on the friction piles, doesn't it? The load spread way down deeper than just the sort of the top area.
Yeah, ostensibly you could wash out all of the soil that's directly under the pile cap after it's the ground, after the cap got it structured, it set. And it wouldn't, and depending how deep their bearing surface is, your limiting factor would be for the piles on how much lateral loading they could take, because even though they're acting as columns, they don't have as much lateral strength because they're sitting in soil, so that dampens a lot of the movement that they can experience.
Sure. I first learnt that on when they did those tall buildings at Dubai on this, or basically on sand, and they had the same sort of massive amount of friction piles underneath.
Yeah, the Millennium Tower up in San Francisco is fascinating because the piles they put weren't deep enough and the wrong diameter, so the building is sinking and rotating. So from, somebody did their calcs wrong, or they didn't drill as many exploratory bores as they should have. Yeah, that one is spectacular.
Well, that's not ideal.
The strata of San Francisco is bad. It's
I've
similar.
actually found bedrock.
I'm not sure if it's real bedrock or if that's just where there's the clay. There's a solid clay layer.
Oh yeah. Anyhow, once again, we're
But
done.
yeah. Oh no, if that's like fascinating, fairly approachable for geotechnical issues with deep foundations.
The shenanigans they have to do to try to fix that thing has been hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's.
Oh, these are additional piles that are going down the bedrock.
They've literally had to drill new piles in and try to stabilize the foundation and whatnot. There have been a few buildings that people have messed up, but I think there's one in New York City as well that's all completely just shot.
Yep.
And that it's an incredible danger for it to tip over and knock a couple of other buildings down.
One of the triangle, the building that's on the 4 columns had that issue for a while.
The one that they built over the church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crazy building.
That one wasn't sinking. That one was that the structure wouldn't hold up to a storm. They didn't take into account certain load, wind load from a certain direction. But I don't think it was sinking.
Yeah, no, that was value engineering, where they decided that they would bolt instead of weld, and oopsie. But then Chicago's. Go on, Todd.
They went in and tried to fix it without telling everybody what they were doing and got caught.
Yep.
I don't know if they got caught or because they kept it fairly quiet even after the fact.
Yeah.
That building, the one in New York City, the architect, I think he talked to a student or something, and then someone brought it up to him. The architect realized his mistake.
Yeah, that was the one
along
with
those
the
lines. Yeah, and
didn't a student figure it out or something?
Yeah, they very, very quietly then went through, and during the night, they went through the building and started to add in the reinforcements wherever it was needed. But they kept it very, very quiet, as to be like, oh yeah, if we didn't do this, the whole thing would have collapsed, like.
Yeah, then there's one in Chicago that they might have built on it now, but for the longest time it was just the pit for the excavation, and that one had.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you're on that picture, Steph, you can see like where it looks like they've kind of marking out rows and things like that in that back part of the lot.
So we might get a pad here in 6 months.
Yeah, basically.
We're seeing a mirror of this. Basically, you can see lights and the roads and so on between parks. It's sort of much the same in here.
And
there's probably lighting somewhere like that's probably a lighting thing. Maybe that one. Geez, it doesn't take you as much to get used to, Star. That's awesome. And thanks, Matt. I was just about to jump in. You just read my mind, but it's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck, I was hoping we get PK involved.
Clearing the land just rubbish. Clearing the land. Cool. That's that is a steel lot. Seems sort of tidy this week, the steel lot, for some reason. Yeah, maybe not.
And then the sections for jacking the cranes.
Okay, yeah. So there are, where are they on this side, are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course there's an odd amount. So there's at least 2 per each. Do they go up 2 or 3 at a time? Something tells me they went up 3 at a time.
Don't know.
That's a BJ question.
No, I mean, yeah,
I saw that photo. That's a steel lot. That's a good perspective of how things fit together. It's a bit of light. That's the must be looking towards the east in this shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. All right.
They still didn't put that tiny home down. It's still sitting in the same spot it was last week. They took the truck off the front of it, but it's still sitting there.
I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe there's still some work to be done under this area, because they haven't put the footpaths and that in either.
No, but the services are there. If you scroll in real close, you can see the hookups and stuff are there.
Okay. Yeah, well, they would have been late. Yeah, they would have been run in with the original work.
Yeah.
I thought maybe something to do with incoming, just because it's close to the incoming power. But look, we've got some gardening going on. Oh, how cute! It's real eat, work, sleep sort of environment. These sort of environments, aren't they? Much like any sort of company town. It's all about eat, work, sleep.
Very utilitarian.
I remember doing that on hay farms, literally 100-hour weeks. Get up, drive a tractor for 16 hours, eat on the tractor, go home, eat, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. Okay, I think that brings us to the LNG site. We can quickly go. Just want a quick look around to see if there's the airport site and the ASU site over there. That's all port.
Yeah, they finally finished that concrete work on the one tank.
Okay, we'll come over to that in a sec. That's that site. We looked at that. Okay, we're seeing all that. Some of the port. Okay, we'll quickly do the liquefaction plant. Might start this end this week. So yeah, lots of dirt work and on over there. It's like some kind of outplay. Oh, looks like they'd hook up to that, I guess. Part of their processing before they get rid of water out to the bay, perhaps, or vice versa. No new work on foundations here. So, like Matt said, good place to start. We've got some concrete done on this tank. She's sort of been a lot of concrete. So they never answered our question about the Rio bar, whether it was double Rio bar or whatever. Let's see if they show it over here.
Yeah, I think Alex was saying that concrete layer is like an underlayer, and it's going to be kind of like an attic, and they'll do an over layer too, right?
Only where they have those penetrations where they're going to have some gear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'll be like platforms on top.
Yeah.
And they should be level. We should only be able to see some levels in amongst some of the, like that height down to that height or that height down to that height. They should be like, horizontally flat, you'd think. Or I'd imagine they would be. Or maybe not.
Probably as a ring. Like it'll stair step up, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, ring on this level, then step up, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty well solidly enclosed. Not bad insulation, I guess.
It's funny. Just above those tanks there, the switch yard for the power.
The new switch yard, yeah.
Non-trivial amount.
And perhaps I wonder if I was just wondering if they're going to keep the old power going over to the Padre Island and that, and Port Isabel, they're going to switch through here and run it off this power plant, this switch yard.
This is probably the exclusive feed, like your paper mill near where you live. And they probably have two different providers coming in.
You think it's going to get a little bit bigger than that? Because that looks kind of small for that site, personally.
I mean, that looks like it's just the high voltage where it's coming in. On the right, those look like the high voltage circuit breakers, which I would have thought it would have been flip-flopped, and the other side would have been where they put their...
all the stuff down and yada yada.
Yeah, but that might be distributed all amongst the plant as well.
It may not be the only one too. There might be more of them. Further on.
I think that's just their main where it comes in and switches. Yeah. So that's where the feed's coming in.
Actually, no, it looks like there is only one. It's looking pretty biggish here, because there's the lines don't cross in here. It looks like this is where they first cross over here. This is where they're going to turn on these poles here. Oh, they've already got the lines strung in. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look closely at that, the small poles go on to Port Isabel. It has nothing to do with those big poles that go from there and to the left up the highway.
Yeah. Are these not braced? Are they just... because they're under tension. Oh, hang on. Am I seeing that right? Yeah, that is the power lines.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're under tension with no bracing, just on sheer strength.
Yeah.
Those are down, I can't remember, like 40, 50 feet into the ground.
It's held there by brute strength. Yeah, this is the only input to the site for sure. Yep, down to, like you said, it kind of looks like a work flow into that area. I mean, there could be some, it does look like a work flow into the, immediately into that little switch system, and then, it goes on to another. There's obviously something further on over here. It won't go high. It looks like it's going to swing from here across to there. Actually, better go back to this photo. Sorry, it's a better photo.
Just
Not
doesn't
sure why
seem...
the height. Maybe there will be some lines go over the top as well.
Yeah, I think there might be, because that row right by that tank looks like,
Just doesn't seem like a lot, judging by some other sites that I've seen.
And this is a power-hungry hippo site.
Yeah,
well, that's why I say that. It just doesn't look sized right for the size of this site.
I mean, they're probably, the pumps and stuff, they're probably up 20 kilovolts.
Is there another substation closer up the line that you didn't see?
Yeah, because that's the very end of the where the power is going.
Because each train, I would almost expect them to bring in a little substation.
Not sure about that, because the main power lines are running along. It doesn't look like they have anything to bring lines from that line into the site. It looks like the only place they're bringing the lines into the site is actually here.
Unless it's farther down the line, further into the port a little bit more, like towards the end of the trains and all that, possibly.
You got to remember, this is a really, really high voltage, so that there's not a lot of current. I mean, there is a lot of current, but the current's not really high here yet. So this, and we don't know yet that the main transformers aren't over there and it's coming back this way yet too. So, and like I say, this is all switchyard as well. This might just be a tiny component of the switchyard yet. I think that might be what's going to happen here. You might find the bigger transformers over here actually. And there's lots more land here for the switchyard in here. And then from here, they can run it around the site. Then dropping it back down to, let's say, 7,000 odd volts is good enough to run to the rest of the sites. There wouldn't be much power loss there. Because this is going to be coming in at maybe 600,000 volts on this line. David would be able to tell me that, but you get 500,000 volts quite easily on transmission.
Though they're high enough that they're probably definitely six-figure.
and then down into massive big 600s down to probably 60 odd, or even down further down to 10 odd, and then distributed somewhere around. I don't know, we have 11,000 volts, we have 1100 volts, we have 660,000 volts in Australia.
Yeah, the motors are probably running 20.
These could be 1100 volts. They're probably not, David. Some of these, I can't see them being high voltage. I think they'd be more like you.
Those are just fan. I mean, the compressors are the big power hogs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like at Starbase, yeah. The big compressors, yeah.
And I'm actually surprised they're not self-generating.
Have we seen those compressors in here?
If you probably wouldn't have recognized them when they showed up.
Yeah, true.
I mean, they're in there.
Is this a similar cooling system that we see laying horizontal at Starbase ASU?
Vertical. I mean, some of these are basically what's inside the cold box.
Okay. It's all about removing heat energy, yeah.
Compressing it and expanding it. And distilling out various components that you don't like.
Yeah.
The angry stadium.
Now, Event Dudes was saying, someone asked a question about the LNG ship last week. This is a new type LNG tanks. They're not spherical anymore, I guess you're saying.
Yeah. No, they're not.
$45 million gallons of liquefied natural gas. Wow, they're big. They're big puppies. That's a good little expo, a little bit of words. Man, words aren't working for me today so much. It's process treated, cool to about minus 260.
Pretty cool that the ship itself runs on natural gas also.
They're retrofitting the 2 tanks, the short, fat ones at the launch site, were for retrofitting. Those are marine tanks.
Okay, cool. Yep. So does that mean crude oil tankers run on their crude oil as well?
Probably.
Okay. So we may see those compressors go in on the new train if we look closely enough. As they build the new train. Man, there's so many cranes at this site, and they're big puppies too. Yeah, we miss seeing them going into this site. I wonder if they're there. Let's see on this other site. Sorry, I digress again. Sorry, not sorry. Is that part of it in there, the compressors?
It might be. It might be. Well, yeah, I mean, because probably knows these are just their big intercoolers for their stages.
It almost looks like the workflow, doesn't it, from here through that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then you hit your various stripping columns. What top between those cranes? Yeah, are those 2 giant transformers?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So not coming off those lines, but once again coming off that switch yard in, like I say, in 10, it's still up, still really high up in the voltage. And then when you get down to here, when you drop it down to even to the 1100 volts, what was the one at launch site? Something like a couple of thousand volts. Even
the pumps are a lot higher.
So in dropping down to this what do you got? What was yours? 360 volts. Was it 480 volts?
480.
Phase.
But a lot of these are probably running at a high voltage.
Even down around 1,000 volts. That's once you drop down to that sort of voltage, because of course if you come from 10,000 volts down to 1,000 volts, you're going to have 10 times the amount of current as well, because power equals current times voltage. So as you step down, so these aren't a representative of the voltage here. These are representative. Their size is representative of the amount of current or overall power going through them. So these could well and truly be fed by the switchyard and still be fed something like, 20,000 volts, whatever, on the high side, and drop down to whatever it is the motors are running here, possibly a few different voltages. But yeah, well spotted. Yep, that's what you're going to see on each train, and they'll be fed from that switchyard each. So you'll see they'll have probably a dedicated switch, like you said, high voltage circuit breaker for the intermediate line for these. In case one of these fail, they'll trip a circuit breaker over in the switchyard, which is something, to switch that much voltage out. That's something, because voltage does allow jumping. A lot of pressure. Voltage is a lot of pressure.
A lot of arcing.
Yeah, it can make a good spark. Like on your spark plug, high voltage be a spark. They've got to draw. The switching's amazing. When the switch opens to the arc, they've got to draw the arc away. They use magnetics, all sorts of things to get the arc, to quench the arc. Even your normal circuit breaker in your switchboard at your house has a little coil in amongst there. So on dead short circuit conditions, as the breaker opens, it literally blows the arc out. All right. Welcome to electrical theory 101.
Fire stadiums.
Seems like such a waste of energy to burn it all like that, and not like run a steam turbine or something up. I don't know. In here. I guess there's a reason in the viability whole scheme of things.
It's probably for the amount of times it has to get used.
Oh, it's very rare. Oh, okay, of course, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, you said something about that last week. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, this shouldn't be going all the time, where they have a big problem.
Just as a safety feature, basically. If they do have to dump, they can burn it.
Yeah, because it comes in as a gas, so you don't have to worry about, water hammers. But once it's liquid, then that comes into.
Sheesh, a liquid hammer on this sort of site would be fairly expensive, I'd imagine.
Catastrophic.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Basically what it is.
I bet that pad you were just at is where the compressors would probably be installed.
Yeah, in this area. It might even be the motor mounts, yeah.
Yeah, and then some of those other ones are probably the intercoolers for the stages.
Yeah.
That goes.
Yeah, it's a good watching this side by side. Actually, it's a good way to watch this go ahead, because here we can see some of the staging. They're the motors, perhaps.
I think those would be the intercoolers, the per stages, or
Are we missing something on this image? So there's that rack. Oh, hang on, this other one. Over here a bit.
Yeah, the compressors could be in that center trough, and the coolers are on either side. Might be what's going on.
Yeah,
like we saw at Starbase, those centrifugal or axial compressors are not that large compared to all the cooling gear.
Cool. That'll be the LNG site. Such a big site compared to Starbase. All right, I've got crazy dogs going on here in the background. There's movement at the station. All right, how are we going for time? We've been going...
Not 3 hours and 20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, I think we can wrap up the show then. So, okay, the dog can settle down now. Okay, so yeah, well, thank you, Matt, for running the show today and coming up with the idea and presenting it for us like you do, and doing all the hard work in the background to keep this show running.
My pleasure.
And Alex and Ryan, really appreciate your expert input.
Thank you. And Andy for questions.
And Indy for questions. So I did that last week too.
Seriously.
This is a side note. Yeah, this is a yard at Austin, Texas. But I mean, like we said, we haven't seen the whole yard yet at this site yet. Yeah, Indy, thanks. Yeah, Indy's awesome. I really love the way Indy has a lot to do with the site, and over the years has done so much hard work for the channel as a whole. So yeah, I really appreciate Indy being around and being involved. So good on you, Indy.
But still not memorable. Just kidding. You're most welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Pleasure to be
Yes,
here. Thanks for having me.
And I think that's all I need to know. Thank obviously RGV Aerial Photography for coming up with images that we get to play with every week, and the amount of time they spend on getting these images and also processing images and getting up online for us all to see. So thank you very much. And Matt, I'll hand it over to you for the handoff.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. We really appreciate you hanging out for these extra long sessions. And yeah, I don't think we have the flight scheduled just yet, but I'm sure it's probably going to be on Saturday. So look forward to that, guys. We do the flyover live. So for those who don't know, Mauricio goes up in the plane, and we get a live view using the Starlink satellite. So it's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it, and great views. Then we have the show and tell a little bit later that day. Our normal weekly the next day on Sunday, and this show on Tuesdays. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate all your support, and we will see you next time. Love, peace, and chopstick rail grease.